Howdy, folks, and a reminder, Matt, you are not on camera yet.
Yeah, but I was...
Welcome to AlberonRPG. This is Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign. I am your Dungeon Master this evening and most. And joining me, I have all of my friends, Matt, Dan, Olive, Kara, and Ari. And Ari, it is your birthday, so happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
You could probably tell we're all wearing hats. Various things are happening that are birthday themed. You'll also notice on the interface, Gibbs is wearing a little party hat. So.
Oh, that's fun!
So a couple announcements before we get into this game. First of all, we use bits. Twitch has a microcurrency called bits. You can use those to help out Mosaic Team 5 at various times. Thank you for that. A few bits can help with a refuel with some ammo or even a special weapon. A couple more could get the cast pizza in real life. It could also do things like have an expert bounty hunter assigned to the team. So many ways in which you can support Mosaic Team 5. Speaking of which, the channel points have changed somewhat. So I won't go too much into exactly how this has changed, but from all of your help, we have maxed out our goals for the hashtag junk falls will always be junk channel points. At some point during maybe this session or next, there might be some. We'll talk a little bit about that. But you will notice there are now 2 options. You can read a little bit about them and decide if you want to support those causes or if you want to wait and find out a little bit more about them. But that's entirely up to you. There are a couple other channel point rewards that you can use as well. We encourage you to use those. And then if you want to send emails to anybody here, you can do so at cast@AlberonRPG.com, which is also our website. AlberonRPG.com has player profiles, character profiles. It has the bounties all listed. It has links to every session that's been played in both Mosaic Team 5 and Adventures in Alberon, our 5e game. And then tomorrow, we are going to be playing at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, session 113 of that D&D game. Adventures in Alberon, original 5th edition D&D. And then, finally, as a final announcement, for the music that we are using, as well as many of our sound effects, we use Sirenscape, which is a digital tool set that you can use to inject sound effects into your life. And with that, I can get us into our recap. I can already tell there's going to be distractions.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way we're
These
gonna
were
get through this. I like that it's the store to your voice when you like unroll it.
Sirenscape is a digital tool set for everything but these noises. These are all being made not by the. I don't know if you can tell. This is being made by the players, not by the actual ones. Those make no noise. Anyhow.
Don't fault Sirenscape for our bad noises.
Great noises?
Mosaic Team 5. Last we played, you interacted with the director. For the very first time, realizing that your ship has a virtual intelligence and a voice to match. Immediately, you use this to play Mambo number 5.
And nothing else more productive than that.
That is the only thing that you did with it.
Yep.
After that, you exited the Drift, the sort of hyperspace equivalent in our game, and were joined by rival bounty hunters Rose Lashwin and, later, Chad Attitude. You landed on Tashen, on a mesa covered in the yellow calicis blossoms, and descended onto the Tyrant's Jungle, a rainforest in which there were rumored to be, I think Spice had figured out, large creatures that roamed the planet. Not at all distracting. As you progressed Shade, you were able to find a grenade-based trap, and disabling it without issue, you added a grenade to your inventory. You continued. You continued with Echo finding the next trap. A corpse of a Vesk, this kind of space dragonborn, essentially, strung up to a tree, badly decomposed. Echo, you triggered the trap but managed to dodge the small dart that fired from within. You continued further into this rainforest, growing steamier and steamier as the temperature is in excess of 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And as you found sort of a clearing in the dense jungle, you crossed, finding very quickly that there was a reason for this game trail. Bubs, you examining the ground, found a footprint. At first, all of you sort of in a depression, but recognizing this is just one large footprint. And Gibbs, as you wandered ahead, you set off a small trap. This trap elicited a series of booms in the distance, and before more than a moment had passed, artillery rained down around you.
We don't know that that was my fault, though. It was, the cause and effect was a little vague there.
Fair. Gibbs, after hearing a click, all of that happened. After the dust had settled, a large creature came to investigate. Stomping from the underbrush was a Tyrannosaurus Rex, a true prehistoric monster, here on the jungle world of Tashen. And for the first time, all of you not really seeing a lot of protein-based life forms, it finding a very good meal. It immediately rushed in. And you all experienced quite a difficult battle. Bubs, you were literally chewed up and spit out. Although found your
Sounds
way,
about right.
found your way out of the creature's throat by activating your molten warhammer and dropping it within. Later, you attempted to do the same thing with your red star brass knuckles, essentially, with a little bit less of an effect. Gibbs, you too were also badly hurt, finding yourself thrashed by this creature, Before Shade, you were able, almost level with this creature's head, resting in the trees of the jungle, to destroy it by firing 4 blasts from your laser into its eye. As this creature crumbled to the ground, Chad Attitude, your rival bounty hunter, rushed from the jungle and ahead of you, as you were all forced to rest.
Chatting to.
But as you finished your rest and began to move further ahead, Spice, you took a final look around and shouted into the woods. And in that moment, the moss and bark alongside one of the palm trees shifts and changes to a plant-like humanoid form that you know as the Goran Rose Lashwin, a rival bounty hunter. And that is where we are going to begin tonight. So give me just one moment.
Is this anyone's die?
Nah.
We were trying to figure out whose that was last week.
Yes.
Ah, it's Ari's. There you go.
I knew it was going to be someone's here because it wasn't
John's now
someone's
found
birthday.
dice in the washing machine.
Oh,
That's
that's
a
funny.
nice one.
And the dice, yeah. And
What did it roll when you picked it out of the jar?
well, I put it in salted water, and I guess that's a lie. That dice don't actually float in super buoyant salt water because you're supposed to be able to like.
There's a salt test, that
Yeah.
you're supposed to do to test if
like,
it's balanced.
I couldn't do it. I put like a cup of salt
Probably
and like
too
2 cups
heavy.
of water, and it didn't work. So but who knows? But
Rose Lashman has skin formed of thousands of fibrous vines with soft moss the gold-green color of grass. When the setting sun hits it, it coats much of the interior of her body, but around her sleeveless arms you can see foot-long ferns that shroud her shoulders. Her face, very humanoid, but as she regards you, Spice, from the tree line... Oh, I have to take this off. It's slowly creeping forward.
That's
It's going to
okay.
snap me in the nose. I can already tell. I'm going to just kind of put... Where are we going? Okay, well,
It's fine.
yeah.
don't worry.
As she regards you, you can see the face, a series of almost microscopic blossoms that shift and change to give her the appearance of emoting. But she says, I've been here, thank you very much. You know, they can't really see you if you don't move. All you had to do is stay still. I was waiting for it to pass.
Good to know. Thanks for the tip.
You don't need to kill everything, you know. She walks up to you. This is why bounty hunters have such a bad reputation, you know.
Point taken.
Well, I'm glad you're on our side and on our team. Obviously, we could use a little bit of refinement, and I look forward to learning from you. Thanks,
A
Rose.
pleasure to meet you as well. Make a
Oh, hi,
diplomacy
I'm
check.
Gibbs. Oh. Uh, 16.
16. I thought I heard you in the background of the comms. Mm-hmm. So you're the little Yosoki on Mosaic.
I am.
Ah. She kind of walks over to you and regards the rest of you in this group. Are we progressing on?
Yes, please, sorry.
All right.
I want an insight check.
Make an insight check.
I'm looking for what is her familiarity with me, I guess.
Okay, make an insight check.
That felt weird.
I think this is a sense motive check.
Oh, yes, sorry.
It's okay.
11 plus 12 is 23.
Okay. With a 23, you regard her, and there's no, like, malice, there's no, like, positive motivation, but you would imagine it seems as if she has researched your group a little bit, probably in the time since she contacted you first in space.
Cool. So we're gonna follow Chatitude, see what trouble he gets into and stirs up, and see if we can be not him, and be more like Rose Lashwind over here.
Yes. And so next time we see a Tyrannosaurus Rex, we're all just gonna stay still.
Ah, nice.
All right. Onward.
Hyper cautious with Rose here.
Okay.
Not a member of the crew, so I'm waiting for her to just like.
Okay, so you're just kind of passively waiting for her
Yeah.
to do something.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
As the group is talking about Rose, I'm still a little bit over where I was picking up my hammer.
Okay.
And I'm just going to be talking to myself and be like, Bubs, you got to pull it together. Everyone's counting on you. You can't be like this. You have to be an adult. You're 21 years old. You got to be an adult. This is what Steele told you. And I'm going to, like, clench my fists, like, really hard. And I'm going to pull out of my inventory some bubble wrap that I got from the container
Yep.
with like the drone and all the stuff when we
I
got
remember,
up
yep.
for. And I'm just gonna start popping a little bubble wrap.
Okay.
Say that stuff out loud.
Yeah.
Everybody
Talks
but
himself.
Shade, you do hear, like, in the distance, this very, very soft. And for you, Gibbs, at first, you kind of flinch and look up, but you don't see any explosion. And then you look off, and you can see Bubs holding a little piece of plastic and just kind of manipulating it. You know what bubble wrap is.
I feel my anger sort of flare as the last words I spoke to Bubs were a little angry. Spice, you don't mind if I ride on your mate, right? If I piggyback this turn?
Spice like blushes at the word mate, and she's like, no, not at all. By all means.
All right, Bubsy, in line. It's my turn if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, of course. Just hop on. Do you mind popping these for me? It just helps me.
Why don't you hold my hand if you want something to fidget with?
Oh.
It's a clean now.
You can see the
It's a
dirt,
little
like,
sweaty, but
crawl
clean.
up the back of the hand, and relatively clean.
Oh, okay. And I'll reach out and I'll touch her hand.
And I'm gonna swing up on his back, draping my paw over his shoulder so he can hold my hand while I'm riding on his back,
Okay.
and let that be his fidget toy, while I confiscate the bubble wrap and put it in my cargo vest.
Spice, you overhear Rose just kind of say to herself, interesting company.
We're like a family here.
She turns and says, this is all very odd.
Why is it so odd, Rose?
We were just fighting a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and now you're... She gestures over, and you can see, like, Gibbs's paw stretched over Bubs' arm. Bubs is popping bubble wrap. This is just unusual company for me.
What is the company that you keep, Rose?
Myself. Who's leading this group?
Guess that's me.
Spice like points to Shade.
As interesting as this is, we should probably progress onwards.
I'm doing that the whole time.
There you go.
So let's follow him, but let's talk about how we're gonna split this bounty, Rose.
Sure. As you walk, she turns and says,
Listening in on this again. Hyper cautious.
I've made this mistake before. So before we get into it, we gotta talk about how we're going to divvy it up.
well, we're two entities, Mosaic and me.
Ah, yes.
50-50.
No, I do not accept. There is 5 of us and 1 of you.
Very well. She stops walking.
Oh, no, Rose. No, please, keep walking with us. This is a conversation.
You seem very capable. I'm sure you'll be fine.
Gonna stop our adventuring party for a moment.
Rose, no, let's talk. We're not gonna do 50-50, but we can arrange something else.
Unless you're going to give me more than 50, I don't think this is going to work. So feel free to go ahead. I'm sure you know where he is.
Is there no diplomacy
It's
check?
a generous
You haven't,
bounty.
you haven't really offered anything.
Well, I offered...
Less than 50.
Yeah, I did. I gave her 1/6.
Oh, sorry. What did you say?
1/6.
1/6?
Because there's 5 of us.
Make a
and one of
diplomacy
her.
check. Sorry, I didn't hear that.
That's okay.
Because it was such
Please
subtle
be
diplomacy.
good.
You know what? I will take a huge cut of my pay.
Okay. Well. 21.
So explain to me, what exactly are all of you bringing to the table where
Well-
we're all equal? I have the location. I know exactly what lives within the karst, which I imagine none of you do.
I will keep you alive.
I was going to offer the same for all of you.
Oh.
You know, Gibbs, I think we have a lot in common.
Oh. You know what? I think, Rose, on a probationary basis, could be offered 40%.
That's so high, Gibbs. Look at how many there are of us.
Right, but I think I'd be worth the same.
Like, Spice, slaps her forehead and is like, fine, all right. 40, 60. 60 goes to us, 40 to you.
You see the petals like all ripple and her brow seems to raise, although there is no brow. And she says, I can do 40. For you, Gibbs. For our friend.
Cool. Bubs, why don't you walk next to Rose now, please?
Okay.
Giddy up.
All right. Let's go, guys.
She walks alongside Bubs. You begin to walk. Somebody other than Shade, go ahead and make a perception check, as Shade is occupied watching Rose.
Oh, nice job, Echo.
There we go.
I'm sorry. I hope you don't mind if I scout ahead a little bit.
Not at all. Please do.
Hold on, I just...
That's a natural 20.
Okay, thank you. That's 20 on this dice before, and I'm like, there's a squid.
It's a
Yeah, first time
Echo!
20.
Nice.
So, Echo, you can see this. You see the newest member of your party, this android, move ahead. The blue lens-like eyes seeming to almost glow a little bit brighter. And as you walk ahead, Echo, you change the settings in your eyes such that you are able to almost take the background and fade it a little bit. And so the things that move pop out just a little bit more. You walk for roughly 5-6 minutes, and you notice with that roll, very subtly, the trees begin to change. At first, you had remembered Shade had rocketed up into the trees, and that was close to like 40 feet. Already, as you move, you're beginning to notice that branches sort of pull at your hair. They're beginning to get smaller and a little bit more spread out. You move over, and for the first time, you begin to start to see these trees, almost like birch trees, although very much still palm trees, all the same species. They're flaking off the bark like paper. And here and there, you're now seeing it almost float like it's almost like peeling skin. You continue to walk for a little bit longer, and you enter an area where you can see almost very vividly the edge between what is a relatively healthy forest and something that is markedly not. Gibbs, I would say you pick up on this as well, just being as in tune to nature as you are. You're beginning to see at first spider webs, but then you realize not so much. This is wood that has decayed to the point where it almost looks like skeletons. The interior eaten away to form these small, almost like cholla wood. You reach a point where there is a huge twisted tree with no bark, just snarls of hooked and twisted inner wood that seem to have been almost hollowed out by termites. And based on the size of the tunnels, these termites must be roughly the size of like a soda can. These are large tunnels bored through. Nailed to this tree, you see off maybe within 60 feet, off at a pretty good distance, the first thing that you notice is a glint. At first hard to see in the sun because it's metallic and it's green.
Is it?
You squint
Gratitude.
ahead and you see nailed to that tree the corpse now of Chad Attitude.
Yes! I'm so glad.
Yes, we didn't get the satisfaction of killing him ourselves.
I'm so
No,
glad. I
that's
hated
good.
him so much.
That's good. Our hands are clean, but he is no longer an issue.
From this distance, you can also see, focusing in with your android eyes, almost like they zoom, you see nailed to the chest, there is also a data pad. It sparks in the distance a little bit, still active. But he is impaled by what looks like almost a piece of like steel that has been stripped away, very jagged, probably part of something larger at one point. You also see, does anybody speak Vesk?
Yes, Spice does speak Vesk. Wait, let me confirm that actually.
I think you do, but Echo, you notice a series of jagged kind of letters that are beginning to be carved across the tree, but the tree almost kind of like ruining and crumbling away. Probably whatever was attempted to be written on the data pad itself. A very inelegant way of attaching it. Beyond this tree by about 20 feet, you see an area where the ground grows close together and at first almost like ridgelines. Okay. But it seems to drop. And Gibbs, as you look ahead, you remember when you cast no coordinates. That person was located below you. And into the space, you can see as it gets darker, there are still trees that grow, but these trees all the same kind of rotted, termite-borne husks. But Gibbs, and also I would say Echo with that role, they're still very much alive. And with a natural 20, one of the last things that you do notice is slowly, almost imperceptibly slowly, you see these trees are shifting and moving their roots. And that is what you see.
Echo communicates all of that in brief to the party and says, "We might want to be careful of the vegetation in this area. It seems to move on its own."
Gibbs, for a moment, you are back in the vents.
I was
you see
just thinking it.
Yeah.
This is the second time we've had the same problem with plants. No offense, Rose, of course. Just other plants, not you. This is sketchy. I would say the body is most definitely booby trapped, so whichever one of you guys is gonna go up there, just be careful.
I was gonna suggest going up
Or-
to
Whichever
investigate
one
the
of-
body, very cautiously approaching with the anticipation of getting like ambushed by the plants or something.
Okay, make a perception check as you approach.
I would like to check out the plants.
Make a life sciences check, or what are you trying to find out about the plants?
They're alive. That's creepy because
Yeah.
they're seemingly dead looking. I guess I want to know, is this a ecological deception?
Make a life sciences check.
I think I'll go
Phoenix,
over
it is Ari's birthday, in fact.
and move so Ari can get closer to the trees.
Sure.
Or Gibbs.
24.
Okay. You get a little closer to this body. Echo points out that it's sort of nailed to this, and so you begin to investigate, looking very closely at the ground, at the air, looking for any kind of very thin filament. You've already seen this fishing wire used as a trigger. You don't see any. You get a little bit closer and a little bit closer. And as you do, you can see this data pad sparks, but there is still a lit screen and written across something in Vesk. 5 words. Further, as you look beyond chat attitude, you can see cause of death probably being impaled. There is marks of him trying to pull away at this before finally succumbing to his wounds. Beyond him, you can see through this dark, almost like a cave, a very faint glow. Almost like a gray, silvery light that seems to emanate from below. What is the distance on your vision?
I believe it's 90 feet.
90 feet? Okay.
Well, in dark light, yeah, I think it's 90 feet black and white.
Okay.
With your
check.
special eyes.
Shut the fuck up. Different game. Although I'm putting together a compilation of all those.
Oh no, it's 120 feet.
120 feet. Okay.
Wowza.
So peering in, you only see lines. It's like you're seeing almost line art of what's beyond in black and silver. And you can see more of these trees growing along a long path that seems to twist down into the left and deep into the earth. But no traps.
Okay. I'm gonna take a look at this comm that's still on with the Vesk,
Just a data pad.
or the data pad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at this more closely and probably save a copy of the Vesk to present to Spice to read because I don't read
Okay.
Vesk.
Just so I understand, a data pad's just like an iPad, right?
It's like a Kindle,
Yeah, okay.
basically. And so they're used primarily just for like data storage and reading.
Right.
Sometimes editing, but yeah.
Cool. Just so I understand.
Nothing like, it's not as fancy as a communicator.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm gonna, I guess, jack into that or
Okay.
check for traps or check for
Make a computer's check because
countermeasures.
you make a check for countermeasures. Spice, you're reading this script.
Yep. She's gonna look over and be like, this was a Duolingo thing I saw once.
You can see, certainly you know some of these words. This is Vesk, and it says in all capital letters, "Death to those who seek."
That's to those who seek, y'all. Watch out.
I mean, that's a pretty convincing message if you believed in Chatitude's abilities to survive. But
Did any of you believe in Chatitude's abilities to survive?
not particularly, but
15.
Yeah.
Don't see any countermeasures.
I got a 13 on plant stuff.
You get down, you sniff at the ground. You smell deep, deep loam and you feel there's no real plant deception, and something in your mind feels not terribly concerned about this. But then you kind of look over and, Bubs like bends down. You kind of fall off a little bit and you have to readjust. And you can't really attach those thoughts to anything. You lose your train of thought.
And then I would like to make a sleight of hand check, maybe, to subtly tie Bubs and I together with the 15 feet of fishing line I got.
Classic.
Make a sleight of hand check. Take
Thanks.
a +2 conditional modifier for Bubs not being able to see you.
And being busy popping his butt.
Okay.
I don't have them anymore.
17 plus 2 is 19.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Bubs, you feel Gibbs shift around a little bit behind you. Nothing really noteworthy.
Sorry, here you go. I needed it for a second.
Oh, okay. And then I grab her hand again.
There you go.
And I do that thing where I like massage the webby fleshy part of your palm because that's supposed to be like acupuncture for chillaxing, but you're pretty high strung, so who knows?
Yeah.
It's part of the Mosaic standard training. Acupressure. So that is what you find. And Shade, for you looking ahead, you can see sort of just the lines of this dark path moving down.
I guess I'll take the data pad and, look through it while we continue.
Sure. As far as you can tell, it has been wiped with just this one word. This is essentially a note that has literally been pinned to somebody's chest.
Okay, so this is not the Chatitudes.
Communicator? No.
Yeah.
And
Does
as
he-
you
he
look,
doesn't have
no
anything on him?
weapons.
So someone's come to check on the body.
Certainly.
Okay.
Or the person who killed him.
Or yeah, he was killed by
I mean,
someone
we know
or
that this is
something.
that guy, Gorfine, right? Like,
Yeah.
it seems very, like, Gorfine-esque.
This was the last known location that we had of him.
With my comms unit, can I do like an internet search to find out more about these termites?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I would say that is a life sciences check.
Okay.
Do you want to do anything? I
That
want to do a
is
second
a
thing,
12.
but before I go for seconds, you need firsts.
There are so
I
many
was gonna
termite
check the
species
data
in
pad,
the
but it's been
universe. It's hard. I mean, there's a
So my thing
million
that I was
things
planning
it
on
could
doing
be.
is
And your skin starts to crawl as you like begin to look at the images. You're like, oh no. Yeah.
And you can see Bubs, if you're like looking at Bubs' comm unit, he like goes into like a subsection, the folder of notes, and it just says list of fears, and below germs, dirt.
It's one of those things where you're like scroll.
And then I'm gonna enter in the termites.
Folks has to keep a list to remember all of his fears.
I love this.
Casey forgets.
I would like to subtly, I sort of grab my one hand that's free and I kind of breathe into it the way that people check their breath.
Sure.
But I blow it instead, and I want to cast Detect Magic subtly, hopefully, on Rose Blashwind. I want to know.
Okay.
She says she's magical. I believe she's magical. I want to know for a fact she's magical and not full of shit.
Okay.
It's got a range of 60 feet. It's a cone shape.
Yep.
That's not magic, that's science.
Well, it's like Gibbs is both, but like who knows?
As you breathe out, let me just see if she notices.
Yeah.
As you breathe out, you blow, and the mist that rises up in this hot rainforest seems to swirl and move in her direction, but it seems to almost lose place, and you doubt that she notices. As it hits her, you can see it's almost as if she shimmers green. Certainly, this is somebody who's similar to you, probably mystic-like abilities. What else do you get to know beyond that?
Magic spells, effects, items, objects, including those on or affecting a creature, as well as hybrid items in the area, so the 60-foot cone.
Sure.
I can't detect traps, and
She does have a spell currently active. Do you get to know what spell it is?
yes, detect all magical spells, effects, items, including those on a creature.
She currently has cast on herself Share Language.
Oh.
Interesting.
And then I also get, each round you concentrate on the same area, you can determine if one magical source you detect is from a spell, magic item, or other. I don't actually care about this. Let me skip through it.
from a
I
spell.
just haven't cast
Yeah,
this
sure.
before. I
But-
can't determine if magical sources. Okay,
Certainly she is telling the truth.
cool.
So, you all can look down into the space as you gather around, catching up to Shade and whoever else has moved up here. What would you all like to do?
Okay.
You go ahead.
No, we know he knows we're coming.
Mm-hmm.
We know he knows that he's being followed, and we know he's willing to kill and be lethal about it. And we know he's, like, down and under, probably.
These are all basic assumptions of most bounties that we chase.
He's also a war criminal, so well documented. He's killed many.
Did you
So it's-
mention that she looks over at Bubs, is really good at hand-to-hand combat?
He's most likely very good at most combat in general, given his background.
Oh, well, I don't think we've ever met someone who couldn't take down old Bubsy. And Bubsy's kind of flex. And I kind of flex for Spice a
Shade
little
just
bit.
kind of goes,
How much do you actually know about what you're walking into?
We know he's worth a
Admittedly
lot
not
of
much.
money, but I would love to hear what you know, and I consider us same team, my friend.
45%.
Sis, come on! There are 5 of us and 1 of you.
Spice,
No.
Hold up. So,
Get!
hold up. Here's the thing. We know Chatitude is dead, right?
Yes.
We know he left his ship here. So the 45% doesn't have to come from all of the bounty money. We have a ship we could scrap and sell. It's a communal bounty here if we...
I have no need for a ship.
No, but we could scrap it and sell it and donate the money
scrapping
back
and
to
selling
you.
his ship would be more difficult than that, I would guess, given the fact that it's probably still registered in his name.
It's also stupidly bright green.
Yes.
It
but
is
like-
a
Very well known as
very-
he is a frequent poster on the World
Very
Wide
ugly
Internet.
ship.
Yes, ugly ship, worth some. I'm just saying, the extra 5% we're agreeing to right now doesn't have to actually equal dollar amounts. It just has to equal a value of 45% of the total bounty. So we can make back the money if we're willing to do more labor than Rose in selling Chatitude's ship. No offense, I assume you don't want the problem, of course, of his ship.
Not at all.
Yeah, so like...
I also do not want the problem for the record, Gibbs.
But we've got someone who can handle that problem for us, who's designed to maximize the output of our bounties. Meaning we've got Peep who could be charged with dealing with the bullshit.
That doesn't fall under Peep's purview of the job.
Is not Peep's purview of the job to maximize our financial return for the Mosaic company? I think so.
Not by doing frivolous side work.
It's not side work. It's part of the bounty. I'm just saying.
A part of why I don't work with a company or group is this very scenario.
I'm advocating for extra 5% for you. Spice.
Fine, Gibbs. Fine. But I am not selling the ship. That's on you.
I'll do at least a million amounts more paperwork than I already do.
him.
Perfect. Okay. All right, Rose, you have a deal. What do we not know about Horlax here?
You all seem to be under the impression that you're going after one person.
Yes.
Shit.
Harlax has been calling for people, old allies, companions, comrades. There are certainly more than just 1 or 2 or 3 of the Vesk.
And you thought you were gonna take all of them down alone, Rose?
No, but I don't make as much noise as all of you.
That's true.
You don't need to take out an army, just its general.
Which is Horlax?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
What is your role on this team?
I am the captain, can't you tell?
Just gonna make a sense motive check on that.
Unfortunately, it's true.
Shade's like, ugh.
Of course.
Yeah, right?
Well, thanks for sharing that. So, okay, we know that in and around the caves that we're gonna get under, we're facing basically a verified army of people.
None of you
also
did
assume that
any
the-
research about this at all.
Some of us
just
were a little
woke up.
busy. I'm sorry. We do our best. I'm glad you're here. Again, drenched in gratitude for you, but like, the judgment,
Drenched in
I'm
money
trying.
now.
What is your name?
I'm Spicy Mido. Nice to meet you.
You have a last name?
I do.
Yeah, it's in
I have a whole ass
Yeah, it's in
family.
the
I
character
thought
thing.
that was just like garbage they put on your name plaque.
I mean, it is a generated name, don't get me wrong, but...
It's funny that it's spicy.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Spicy Mito. Spicy Mito.
Is Mito a...
No, just
Spicy.
spicy.
Spicy meat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Spicy.
Spicy Mito. Yes. Yes. That's my name. Don't wear it out.
Echo, sorry, what were you saying, Echo? Sorry.
As Spice says that Bubs
Whoa.
is like trying on like the last name in his mind.
Oh my god.
Doesn't work that way.
Oh,
Echo,
boy.
what were you saying?
We can also expect. We can also expect that in addition to allies, Harlax also has more traps below.
Oh, good point. So, how are we...
Might want a forward investigator or scout to check out the area.
Well, Chad got us this far. May he rest in peace. Who wants to volunteer for the next scout duty?
I think
If
it
I
should be
may.
Rose. Oh, sorry, Echo, please.
If I may,
Oh, yeah.
I am particularly skilled in scouting ahead and finding things that people do not want found.
Okay, never look under my bed, but I love to know this about you. Cool. Is everyone in agreement? I don't want to send you Rose.
Thank you.
I'm gonna make a mental note to check under Gibbs' bed at some point. This is the second time she said this.
Yeah, that's fair. Additionally, it may help all of you to know you're not walking into a natural formation, at least not entirely.
Yeah, what is the karst?
The karst.
Karst, thank you.
This is a sinkhole. At one point, this was all just jungle, like you've seen around you. But when a Vesk warship collided with the planet, it collapsed, bringing much of the plant life with it.
Is
That ship is still there, and my guess, that is where he's made his base. So, beyond the traps, beyond the Vesk, we will also be on their home turf.
Do you think that is what caused the dead and decaying ecological sphere here?
She turns. You can see she closes her eyes. The little blossoms along her face shift, and there's almost like wrinkles, as if she ages, if this was like a real face of skin. But almost immediately it back to white, and she smiles and she says, "It certainly feels like radiation poisoning, yes."
I've gotten a lot of value from this conversation. Thank you.
I'm glad to
Sincerely.
see it was worth it.
So, Echo wants to scout ahead. Spice, you look disgruntled, but that's not normal. Shade, do you want to accompany Echo? Or, you got Bootsy Boots.
that does seem prudent. It's never a great idea to leave one person going alone.
Yeah, why don't you guys go side by side? Not together, but like,
And guys, remember on our comms we have flashlights in case it gets dark.
we do?
Well,
Yeah.
are we sneaking
They're literally
in?
as powerful as like an iPhone flashlight, but yes, you do.
I thought that was just the selfie camera. No wonder I can't send any of these.
Didn't
God
Rose just suggest that we not try to make a scene?
Right. So the best way we can't sneak with 8 people, at least 6 people.
Echo, I'll stay close behind you.
That sounds like a prudent
So
plan.
2 waves? Is that the
waves.
plan?
2 waves. We
Why
shall-
don't you
Wait for our response.
Yeah, give us a ring of a ding-a-ling-a when you're there.
Okay.
I
we're
have
gonna-
better methods of reaching you if need be.
I'm excited to find out what that means. Okay.
You know how I use my pinky?
You mean your dick?
Yeah, we all know you mean. Yeah, what?
Hey, Bubsy, before they leave, can you just run over to Mr. Chatitude here?
Oh,
Just like lean this way, okay?
okay. And I'm gonna do
You're
that.
gonna try to revive him?
No, fuck that. I'm gonna reach behind me, pull off the
Speak with dead.
yeah, fuck, it's a free spell, and we run into a lot of dead people.
killed.
Pull off the jar, shove it in his mouth, pull it out, but also close his eyes. This seemed pretty brutal, and I'm a little sad about it,
Okay.
but
You're a little sad about it, but you shove the bottle into his mouth.
yes.
You see a little bit of the fluid, almost snake-like, go down his throat, and you pull it away. For a second, you close the eyes, and the body just kind of hangs there. But then, almost immediately, they open back up. You can see pale, almost kind of rotting white. Opens up and looks at you. I'm awesome.
No, this dipshit.
Guys, it's a 5% chance. Like,
I thought it was 10. I thought it was 10%.
well, you're right. It is a 10%, but like,
Not
still.
that it matters, but
yeah,
yeah.
whatever. Fuck that. You know, we got it out of situations before. Like, the next 10 times I use it, it's not gonna be useful. That's
Yeah.
fine. Nice job, Chad. And I give him a
doesn't
little
respond.
fist
His eyes are
bump.
still open again.
Yeah, but I give him a little fist bump, close his eyes.
Yeah, no problem.
But I don't really want to spend the effort to get him out of there. So
Sure.
okay,
That was smart.
Echo, Shade, go team, team droids, team better than Alexa, team nearly.
Are you finished?
Yes, I was waiting for you guys to go.
We are polite and wait for you to finish.
Oh, that's never gonna happen. Goodbye.
Okay.
The androids begin to walk forward. You can see Rose almost like stops and waits with all of you. Echo, Shade,
Yes.
you begin to walk into this dark space.
Stealthily.
Very
Make stealth
sneaky.
checks.
Very sneaky. Always sneaky. Unless we're on the ship. And even then, maybe
While
sometimes
they
sneaky.
walk away,
Yeah.
Spice is going to grab Bubbles'
It's a
hand
pet
and
name.
say, Bubby, if you go down, promise me you're gonna disengage. You can't die today.
I didn't have time to check the dice.
I got an 18.
Good.
I also got an 18.
Oh, we're fine.
Yeah.
That's bad for me.
I'm gonna say to Spice,
I have to do what I have to do to protect the group, and that includes you.
Spice, don't worry, I'm right here. I'll keep him alive as long as he stays within 30 feet of me. We're good.
That's not
like-
nice music.
Ominous strings.
The two of you begin to walk quietly, as quiet as you can.
got it.
Echo, as you walk in this darker space, you do notice that your eyes, bright as they are, cast a little bit of light along the cave wall. You step down the path, and you begin to notice the ground beneath you a little thinner. And Echo, you a little bit ahead step, and suddenly you see the light along the wall, no longer just your own. There's this faint of a glow. And as you look down along the path, almost like a carpet, there is this lichen that coats the ground. And as you touch it, it bioluminesces a faint silver. And here and there, you can see these little bits glow as if it speaks to one another. And all along, you can see maybe like 40 feet ahead before it curves out of sight, this carpet creates almost like these little lightning, what you would imagine electricity from neurons passing through. It seems to almost communicate amongst itself and ripple down and out of sight.
Echo looks over to Shade.
I believe we no longer have the element of surprise.
I usually operate under the assumption that we never do.
You continue forward slightly, by about 20 feet. The path ahead of you, a little stony, but a little soft. The footing not super sturdy here, but you do not fall. The width of the slope as you're moving down varies. In places, it gets as narrow as 5 to 10 feet, and you can see almost like you're being squeezed by the earth itself. Shade and Echo, make a perception check as you walk.
Ooh, not good. Good? I got a 15. That was really bad for me.
29.
That's really
Okay.
good.
Shade, you continue to kind of glance over your shoulder. You hear the rest of your comrades still arguing and bickering up above, but you're really kind of focused, listening for Rose. You don't hear her. Echo, as you're moving, along the left side of the wall, as you curve around it, you recognize more of those little almost termite-like holes in the stone, and you can see faintly below, deep below, these lights continuing, rippling around and around and around. This space, what is the distance of your vision?
What an
it's
interesting
the
question.
same.
I don't even
Ask.
know where to find that on my sheet.
Yeah.
I don't know
It's
where to find
60, so I think it's 60 feet in light and then another 60 feet of black and white in dark vision. I'm pretty sure that's that's androids in
Yeah,
general.
I think it might be on
with
here.
their
Okay.
exceptional vision.
Ripples down and down and down and out of your sight. This is a deep, deep sinkhole. And every now and then, as it kind of runs along, you can see more of these long, twisted branches. And maybe 300 feet below, with the 29, you see a large shape covered in roots that grow from the sides of the wall and above across. But the way that you can see, there are many of these tunnels, nothing wider than several inches. And every now and then you come to a place where you can see straight through for a long distance. It's very porous rock here. But with the 29, that is what you see. And then I would actually say, as you walk another 20 feet, suddenly you sense something ahead and you stop. You see Shade about to take a step forward, and however you want to, you stop him. But you notice in the silver light a little shadow off and to the right. And off, maybe about a foot high, there is a part that has been carved away from the stone. As you get a little closer, you look to the left, there's a much wider space. And there, you can see almost, probably about an 80-foot drop. You see thin filaments that run along the space here. But as you look to the right, there are charges of some kind that are set. And you've actually seen in one of Shade's items, very similar construction. You would imagine when set off, these would create a pulse of gravity that would push people right off the edge. But you see.
Echo stops Shade with the eponymous mom arm. And
Minivan. When I'm driving and I have to stop short, that's what I do for everybody.
looks down and says,
We must be cautious. It seems Harlax is expecting more of us. But perhaps these could be useful in future endeavors.
Noting that, I'm going to check these and try and disarm, I guess.
Yeah, make an engineering check.
You don't have Gibbs there to help you. I don't know how you're gonna survive.
Yeah, I know.
Echo could
That's
assist
true.
if needed. Echo could, like...
Sorry.
I'm not gonna hold a flashlight. Echo's eyes are flashing.
You just turn your eyes up a little bit.
Echo just turns the brightness up and, like, kind of
Okay, a little less bright.
spots Shade.
Sorry.
That's cocked. Ooh, okay. 33.
Okay. You get down really low, and having Echo spot you, turning her eyes up to the brightest setting, you have no problem seeing the mechanisms that have been trapped up. This is something that has been created relatively recently and relatively hastily, and so not difficult to disarm now that you've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see these two wires that run, and you snip both. And you see the small light that indicates that it is currently active on the back of it. Go dark. You can pull this off. This is a gravity mine.
Okay. Gravity mine.
And you see it is shaped to funnel the gravity to, and you would imagine almost exactly like your pistol, burst something about 10 feet. You peer over the side, almost kind of feeling the jump jets that you have possession of, and you can see maybe an 80-foot drop to a place where the path widens somewhat. With your vision, you can see 120 feet, right?
I think so, yeah.
You can see just along some of this gray silver light, the path below, maybe 80 feet, where it widens. It widens because the roots grow over something. And having fought one very recently, you see yawning open the petrified mouth of a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
But it's petrified, so
The
it's okay.
path leads through this mouth and through dozens of hanging vines. And having already seen them move, these that dangle free in the air, you see every now and then they just as if they're like tasting the air.
Okay.
But you get that vibe.
I am not well versed in the ways of plants and lichen. Perhaps we would like to contact our friends.
They can probably at least make it up to here.
I think that is prudent. Don't forget to warn them about the lichen.
Beep, boop.
For all of you, suddenly, your comms signal. I would imagine, did you guys turn your comms to like silent for this mission?
No, Gibbs's definitely goes.
I feel like I've encrypted them all. At least, you know,
A message comes.
minimally, given my security check.
But Gibbs has downloaded like 40 free ringtones.
Gibbs has Bonsai Buddy. Gibbs has like every possible
Crazy
trope.
Frog.
Yeah, it's definitely
Exactly.
Crazy Frog. There you go.
Did I hit you with some nostalgia there?
It's another classic.
Yes. Just like Mambo number 5. Oh, Bubs, look, it's Shade.
Oh,
I hold my comm out to Shade, and we join a voice group chat, video chat with Shade.
Sure.
Hey, Shade!
Hello. Are you all doing okay?
Yep, we're great. We're just bored by the cliffside.
Okay, you should head forward until you find us. Just go straight, be careful of the lichen, follow the silver path.
Well, I liken that you told me about that, so thank you so much. Ring.
I was gonna say something, but that's it. I'm like, they should be here
Rose,
soon.
we're gonna skedoodle with our friend. We're gonna meet our friends, but we're gonna go probably quietly, and we're gonna watch for moss. Like
I'm
it.
quite good at blending in.
Yeah, that's
Teach
a
me
neat.
how to do that. How do you blend in so well?
Well, she's trees, you know. She is the tree.
Are we going into rock?
You see all the lichen that is almost like this moss on her skin, almost like an octopus, just ripple and flash, different colors.
Can I get some of
dull
that? Can that
greens.
work on my skin?
It's much like your skin. I can't take it off.
Rats. Okay.
You know, that's kind of offensive.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Shoot.
Yep, that's the better one.
I don't take offense. Not many know my kind.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
More about the rats.
Yeah.
As we're like moving forward, I just want to say to the group,
guys, I was looking at the information about the radiation that Rose said, and well, I was looking at our specs of the armor that we got from
what was the guy's name?
Yeah, that guy.
Vishtek, yes.
One Tobin.
Vstic, and
Vishkik, one Tobin.
and the armor protects us against low levels
forget
of radiation.
Because almost all armor in the game protects you against
Yeah.
low levels of radiation.
Do you think this is like a heads up situation, or you think we'll be good?
I think maybe it might be a good idea for to put everything on.
Oh right.
So hot.
I know, but we've been warned. You're right that this is particularly scary for carbon-based life forms or whatever.
Protein.
Protein. Yeah, right. So,
We're not protein based, right?
You are not.
Correct.
Well, you have protein parts, but you are not
But not
protein
protein
based.
right.
based.
Whereas Gibbs and Spice and
Maybe
maybe
Bubs.
Bubs.
Confirmed human, let me tell you.
Ooh.
We've already confirmed that Shade's got a dick, so that's not a good enough metric.
Okay.
I gotta be honest.
All right, fair.
Gibbs will put
Bub's
on
a love
her.
machine.
Whoop, whoop, whoop,
Okay.
Whatever.
It's like a fishbowl that you.
whoop. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Spice like Daft Punk slides it down.
Yeah.
Sure. One by one, you put up your environmental protection.
Yeah.
For the androids. Are you continuing to walk?
exist.
There you go.
I mean, I think
Echo would want to wait for the party to catch up to make sure that they got
Yeah.
there safely.
After a
probably,
minute or
like-
two, your party catches up, and all of you now find yourself in this dark space that twists down and down and down.
How far have we traversed? Have we gotten far in, or are we just 10 feet through the tunnel?
You're probably like 100 feet down, but it's it winds down in such a way that 100 feet is only really descending you maybe 30.
Just want to make sure we weren't still visible through the entrance.
No. You guys aren't like talking where
What's
you're hearing
taking
their
them
voice.
so long?
Yeah, exactly. You're hearing their voice and hearing them on the comms. Yeah, no, not quite that close. So you guys all catch up, no problem.
I guess I would drop down carefully to, move ahead.
Whoa,
Okay.
that T-Rex head, pretty crazy. That looks like the entrance. If I had an evil fort, that's where I'd put it.
We thought we would ask your assistance as well as Rose Lashwind with determining the provenance of these finds.
Oh, right, because they're kind of like those 1970s beaded
Yeah,
curtains.
in ways, much
Yeah.
creepier looking, but yeah.
I had to specify 1970s as opposed to 2022 70s.
Yes.
Can
Hasn't
I?
happened yet.
Or
2250
The
right now.
futures.
The
2170.
Fashion comes in cycles.
Yeah,
That's the whole
exactly.
thing. I know it's coming around. Gibbs is very in tune with fashion.
Yeah.
Could I make a check against if we can walk through the lichen or not?
Yeah, make a life sciences check.
Can I do it with Rose Lashman's assistance as I'm waiting for her to? I hold out my other paw, and I'm like, "We hold hands in this family. Do you do that? If you don't want to, you don't have to. But it helps me sometimes focus."
Make a diplomacy check first.
Ooh, 12 plus 9 is
21.
21.
I like how we're doing like a hands cross America. I'm holding
Yeah,
your
yeah,
hand.
yeah.
Roses.
Okay. She reaches out a hand. As she wraps it around yours, they're not like fingers, they're so soft. It is the cushiony feel of moss.
Feathers.
But as you kind of hold her hand, she does say, "What are you doing?"
I'm looking at the plants with your plant, and I'm looking at plants. So I thought that it would be nice to hold your hand, and then if I touch the plants, I know that they're not you. So like, it's a grounding method.
She lets go of your hand. For a team, you all communicate terribly. Would you like me to tell you what these plants are?
Oh yeah, sure.
The roots grow from the trees that you've all been walking through. Mm-hmm. The ones that you see along here, she gestures back maybe like 20 feet where you can see it is like the rotting trunk of a tree. You can see there are still like roots that twist into the ground from it. As they lost their ability over time to harness the light from the sun in this dark place, they began to feed in different ways. Don't worry about it too much. You've had a pet before, a dog perhaps. They lick you, and it's not a big deal. She steps into these vines, sort of parting them, and you see, even as they go behind, they kind of swing, but every now and then they like kind of twitch. But she disappears into this Tyrannosaurus's mouth. You can see, for those of you with good dark vision, she just kind of fades into the darkness, and you lose sight of her beyond.
Echo looks to Shade. Well, I suppose it is a bit too late to see if these vines were friends or pets of Harlax.
I think they're neither.
There's an 80-foot drop, right?
Yeah.
Did she just go down the 80-foot drop?
No, she's walking along the path.
Oh, okay.
Oh, like it continues.
So the path goes, and where the path becomes about, like, it narrows a little bit, and the Tyrannosaurus's mouth opens. There's stone on either side, but right before the mouth, there is like an opening.
Oh, it's before the
and then you
mouth.
can see there is
Okay.
a drop about 80 feet. You could fit through that opening.
Guys,
Through
I
the
don't-
opening down.
Yeah.
Someday I'm gonna be so aloof and mysticisms like Rose, and you guys are just gonna have to deal with it, because like she don't even need to hold my hand to figure that out. I don't know how, but maybe it's because she's part plant. That's really what I'm chalking it up to. Let's go, Bubsies.
Oh,
Bubby.
yeah.
If there's anything down there?
Make a perception check.
I thought that was the only way we could go. 25?
You could step out and fall 80 feet down. And for you normally, and probably for Bubs, that wouldn't be a problem. But with that roll, as you look, the rest of your party kind of like moving these vines, there is a moment where something reflects, and you see very thin wire, not fishing line. This is metallic wire.
Oh, it's like
Cheese
slicey,
grater,
yeah.
yeah.
And with a 25, you follow it, and up into the stone, you see embedded into the rock wall on the ceiling, hundreds of feet up, or not hundreds, about 80 feet up, you can see what looks like some kind of a power source. Not razor wire, maybe, electrified, certainly. And as you change the setting on your eyes and you see the light reflect a little bit better, you can see down this 80 feet, there are dozens of those. Almost perhaps designed to catch people jumping through that space.
Okay.
So since it's electrified, it's probably not possible to take that wire with us.
Let's try.
Disarmed
short.
it. Deactivated it.
Got
When
any
Shade points it
river
out, you
hanging?
can see, I mean, the nearest one, you could reach out and about 2 feet away, you could touch it.
You said it's 80 feet up
You follow it, and it goes 80 feet up into the
to the
ceiling,
power source?
and there's a power source embedded in the stone in the ceiling.
echoes, is this something you would be able to utilize for future repairs, perhaps?
I don't know. Wait, no. It's 80 feet.
Yes.
Keep saying 80 feet.
I know.
You've had two
I keep
intervals.
trying to math it
lots of
out.
disbelief.
You've had two
I
intervals
can
of about
jump.
80 feet, and then below that, it seems to almost disappear.
I
Whatever's below
don't
that
think
is
I
pretty
can
far.
jump high enough to get my
Okay.
wireless hack
Right.
to get to 80 feet. I think I'm 70 feet max.
So,
No.
Bubs, can you like hop across this little crevasse here so we can get through the dinosaur mouth?
Well,
Oh,
we can just go through.
Oh, the hole is like to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's separate.
This
Yeah.
is just a
Okay.
side
Something
twist.
else
to the
that
side.
is potentially useful.
Cool. Never mind.
But we
Just
can't.
kidding.
We can't
Just
get it. so-
Giddy up, Bubs.
Unless Bubs let me fly up with him. No, I'm not.
He's
Shade
already
wouldn't
burdened.
suggest that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, are you progressing into this mouth?
Yes.
I'm after Rose Lashwind.
Sure.
She's the coolest bitch I've ever met.
You follow the coolest bitch you've ever met through the vines in a Tyrannosaurus's mouth. You can see petrified, the skin stretched taut over the face, and it disappears into the vines.
Can I snip a little and collect some?
Sure.
Echo
You
would
snip a
attempt
little-
to go first if they were allowed.
Up to
They
you
would
guys.
be allowed.
Okay.
Rose.
Shade wouldn't care.
She's on the other side of the
They'd probably-
Tyrannosaurus now.
Okay,
Go
she's
right
already that far.
behind,
Yeah,
but
okay.
just like
Yeah.
I don't care really as long as we survive.
Echo, you follow. The skull of the Tyrannosaurus progresses forward, and you can see like parts of the body, the vertebrae, the ribs. But through the rib cage, you can see the vines part a little bit, and Rose's face poke through. The petals kind of rippling, and she's about to say, "Are you?" Oh, and she sees you finally coming.
Sorry.
She pulls her head out and kind of steps back. And as you step through, there is a little bit more of this path, although it twists down and down and down and out of your sight. You see what Shade had seen through the stone. Maybe 80 feet below, there is a space where the path becomes almost a perfect stone ring, about 10 feet wide, that circles what remains of this pit. And I would say, carrying over your 29 from previously, you can see more of these filament wires stretched all across the hole. If anybody were to jump down, they would first go through that first almost electrified net, and then towards the bottom hit a much larger one. Beyond this hole, beyond the wires, you can see the path continue, although it does continue out of sight.
We shall need to be careful as we continue on. There is a very large pit with multiple traps. Perhaps it is a good idea to let myself and Shade, if they are willing, to go first.
Side by side, my friend. Side by side.
As they're doing this,
She's like-
can I just do a quick check to find when this ship crashed?
You want to like
On the internet.
info spirit?
Yeah.
As you pull up your communicator, now getting close to 200 feet deep in the ground, you do not have a signal.
I figured, yeah.
I do have ship background shit. I can tell. Something.
How do you
I think
know
it's
that?
like the make
'Cause he's
and
done it
model
before.
and all this shit.
You
Oh.
don't
Yeah.
see a ship.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your
I'm just gonna
dinner.
ask Rose then.
Rose, do you know when this ship crashed into this planet?
Some time ago,
Oh yeah.
close to 40 years.
So it's probably not super structurally safe then, right?
I would be very cautious walking across it, yes. That being said, the Vesk, if nothing else, build quite well.
Oh,
It could very well have active power. Some of its defensive countermeasures could be active. Be very cautious.
Rose, do you think we could fly it out of here? Do you think?
This ship,
Yas. We've got the best pilot in the universe in our grasp.
I think, based on the radiation poisoning of the plants, the reactor is probably melted down.
I probably have a reactor in my cargo vest, so
You do not.
I might. You
This
don't
is
know
a
that.
Vesk battleship.
I'm sure that's
Nothing
impressive.
on your person would power something
Oh.
this large.
Okay, just checking. And I rummage through my vest convinced I have something.
Sure,
but I
yeah,
really
you
don't.
continue to look, no problem.
Would Spice recognize this ship?
You have not seen the ship, so no
Would
idea.
I? Well, we're in
We're in
the
it,
ship
aren't we?
now, right?
Currently, when you look to your right, you are seeing stone. You're still walking down this like stone sinkhole, or like earth, really.
Oh, okay.
I thought we were in it.
No. However, this sinkhole was caused by this craft.
Gotcha.
And look, you only really saw where the ground begins to cleave. You'd imagine the sinkhole probably closer in shape to like a canyon. When this craft struck the ground, things caved in. And so probably the ship is below.
Okay. So given that Rose said that it's a Vesk battleship,
Yes.
can I reduce the DC of
Sorry.
culture checks to recall knowledge about starship and vehicle models and parts as
What
well
are
as
you
finish
trying
off
to find out about it?
what kind of ship it is?
Sure.
If it's like a well-known
Yeah,
ship.
sure.
Like, because this also seems like if it's this sort of like
Talon
space.
did a wheel.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Excellent.
FYI, if you didn't see it a few minutes ago.
If it's sort of like this, not well-known space, but like this is a crash site that's like pretty substantial.
Sure.
I would like. There's probably some news about at least the crash itself, if not the ship and like the,
The Vesk war was
situation surrounding
pretty
it.
large and
Right.
widespread, and so there's many of those ships. But
Right.
yeah, go ahead and make a check.
Oh, that's bad. DC
there you go.
minus 5 for 6.
Rose turns to you, seeing you somewhat distracted. She sees the data going across your eye, and because of Talon's wheel, she's going to ask you, "What are you looking for?"
Any information on the ship, what we're walking into?
You should all really try asking questions sometimes. This is the Tagatosh Okshai. It is a huge Vesk cruiser, or was.
You have a spelling for that.
Sure. Tagatosh space Oxai.
OXAI.
OXHI.
What's
It's
AI?
Tagatosh Oshai. Oxai in Vesk is pronounced with SH. Oshai.
I had it up until the end.
Spice, if you are overhearing this conversation,
Yeah,
you
Spice
speak
is
Vesk.
listening.
That translates, and it's not a literal translation. The closest thing to a literal translation is sea monster killer. But you would recognize culturally, and when you really shape it with Vesk, it means the Kraken's demise.
Whoa.
That is the name of the ship.
So Spice is gonna mind. She doesn't mind, like, that's the improper word. She's going to telepathically tell everybody, Kraken.
Whoa.
Can I-
Crack-a-lackin'.
Can I infosphere this thing to try and
There's
find
no
out?
You pull up your
Oh.
communicator, and there is no signal, unfortunately. 200
Makes sense.
feet.
But we
We're
got that
really
much
low.
because of the wheel of Talon. So
Yes,
thanks,
thanks,
Talon.
Oh.
Appreciate you.
All right. Well, that doesn't really.
Well, okay, so we know we're gonna go in here. We're gonna fight an army. We're gonna feel sad about that probably because it's a whole freaking army. Thanks, Rose.
Asking questions gets you answers sometimes.
Okay, I've got a lot of questions. So what's your favorite color? And if you were to be food, what food would that be?
Gibbs, not the time.
Oh, okay. But like, if you ever want to hang out, let me know. I'll bring
Shade's
you to
gonna
dinner.
Make a
continue
diplomacy check.
forward with Echo.
Oh, yeah.
The two of you continue to walk.
Like,
No problem.
this is the part where we leave.
Yeah, this is the part where we continue.
Social interaction.
17 plus 9 is 24, right? Yeah.
24, okay.
24 diplomacy check on hanging out with Rose casually.
Let's see how we do. And if we all pull through this, we can talk.
Cool. Yeah.
I just got the PS12. Maybe I'll invite you over sometime.
Yes. I love Fall Guys 10. Thank you.
Tumbling guys. So you continue to walk, Shade and Echo, and as you do, now through, you pass Rose and Gibbs, who fall behind a little bit, chatting as
Bubs.
they do. With Bubs, yeah, of course. Yeah. Bubs is
Tevin.
kind of part of the.
He doesn't
the group.
know that we're tethered.
You walk for close to 200 feet. As you descend and it gets a little steeper, you do need to be mindful of your footing. That does slow your descent somewhat. But you do notice that the glow is intensifying. the lichen here seems to almost always shimmer just a little bit, a low-level glow. Right around 200 feet further down, and you would recognize shade, as you do have some, I would assume, some kind of like depth gauge. You are close to 400 feet deep in the ground at this point. You can see now this stone ring that you saw from up above. All across it, there are strung out little razor wires, and you can see in the glow a little bit better now. They all seem to have a little bit of a current going through. And here, with so many of them, you can actually feel the power in the air. Beyond that, you can see there is this path that winds down.
Is there like a clear path through that doesn't involve,
Make a perception check.
or anywhere that looks like a control port to like deactivate? That's cocked. 16?
With the 16, as far as you... with the 16, actually, you just barely.
Ooh!
With the help of this glow, you see there is a small space with no reflections. In this kind of wire that crosses, almost like a spider web, this is one space where it's almost like the strings rolled. And so there's a space wide enough for, certainly for Gibbs, maybe even for all of you to fit through.
One of my feats for being a street rat themed character is I can squeeze up to my speed.
How far through is it to the end of that space?
You look. It's about a 5-foot wide hole, and it's just a little off dead center of this space.
Which is...
It's about 30 feet wide, so it's like a 15-foot jump to this hole.
In that hole, any signs of like a place where I could deactivate this set of wires?
With that perception check, you don't see anything. The wires disappear underneath the stone ring, which serves as almost a pathway or a platform that rings the space. And the power source probably under there, although you have no sight line on it, no real way of accessing it. That being said, you do see this hole in the space. But as you gaze down, you see the path continues and winds, and just barely now you're beginning to see the bottom. And you're seeing it as faint elements of silvery glow in the mist beneath.
I point all of this out to Echo.
Oh,
Is there any way we can disarm the trap? Perhaps by means magical.
Spice and Gibbs could probably crawl through pretty easily, but neither of them are very technically proficient.
you know, when I saw an electrified jellyfish, I peed on it, and that solved the problem. So I'm not saying we pee on it, but I'm just saying.
Shade is thinking, like...
I think you have a thing.
Gibbs in Shade's mind is saying all of this, like...
I'm just saying we might want
That's
to pee on
probably
it.
how she would respond to this situation, so yeah.
Gibbs, do you need to get off me for a second?
No, I'm just saying. Oh,
He says, hopefully.
This is maybe some BS.
Okay.
I would like to attempt some BS.
Sure.
please. We love BS.
As Matt says, I'm going to rules lawyer here.
There's no rules lawyering.
We don't have one.
This is a witness questioning the lawyer in this case.
Okay.
So I have a spell called Psychokinetic Hand,
Yes, you do.
As does Spice.
which telekinetically allows me to move an object of one bulk or less. Would I be able to disarm the trap?
With your knowledge of how that ability works, you imagine that you could certainly, it is possible.
Can
You can't
two try?
see the actual source of power.
That's the problem.
And so that would be very difficult. But yes, you could certainly grasp, and you would imagine if it's like the trap up above, you could certainly disconnect a power source with that less than one bulk.
Alright, so this is all just razor wire, right? Electrified? Okay. So maybe we get you, Echo, like a little bit into it, and then you can see around. Maybe there's like a button on the other side of this rock here, you know?
And maybe we could all like point our flashlights at
With
it
my
and it would help her.
wireless hack,
Yeah.
I have 20 feet where I don't need to even see it. I can access systems. So if I'm within 20 feet, can I try to disarm it?
What if all three of us try to disarm it all at the same time
Well,
without
Exo and I
actually
currently
He's on it.
are the only
You
ones.
see
This,
Gibbs fiddling with her spacesuit. Echo and
Spice high-fiving
Spice are
with
kind
their
of like
psychokinetic
looking around,
hands.
getting low, trying to look underneath. Shade, you close your eyes. And you reach out almost with this wireless signal that you can expand almost at will. And for a moment, you feel 3 power sources located roughly 5 feet beneath you, embedded in the stone. And certainly, you would imagine, assuming there is no countermeasures, you could absolutely disable them.
Holy fuck,
Cool.
good job.
I'm gonna try to disable all 3, check the countermeasures.
Okay, make a
and-
computers check just for the countermeasures.
And so technically, because it's my exocortex wirelessly hacking, I can also still, like, it's a separate thing from me, so I can use, like, both me and the thing to work on this, except that I need to be adjacent to it. So I don't think I can be because it's 5 feet beneath
You
the
can't
ground.
be
right?
adjacent.
Okay,
yeah.
so it's just my exocortex
There you
working
go.
on this. All right, first one, ooh, computers check.
Yep, countermeasures.
33.
33. As you examine this, there is a countermeasure stored. Should you attempt to disable this and be unsuccessful, there is almost like a as you look into the center, kind of sensing this, you can see in the area that would be the center of the spider's web, there is a small metallic band. You sense very dimly that there is power within it, and you would imagine, should you try to disable this, that would open, and this entire series of strings, almost like rubber bands, would release and ricochet around the space.
Okay.
And that is not something that you would want.
No, I don't want that, so I'm going to try to stop that from happening.
Make another computers check, and this is to disable it.
Okay.
You're not gonna tell us anything?
Yes, that is another 33.
All of you suddenly feel that sensation of vibration, of power running through all of this wire, dissipate. And Shade, you disable these traps.
Nice.
Shade,
Finger guns.
you
Spice.
are so impressive 89% of the time. Thanks.
That's a pretty high percentage.
Shade's like doing the calculations. Okay.
Is that a compliment? Probably, but
There's a
That's like an
threshold.
Android compliment.
Yeah.
Like Spice
like an
like.
Gibbs
Android
is trying.
compliment.
Yeah,
I
Gibbs.
love that.
Also doing the calculations to see if they should say something.
Does she? Does he? Does they? Sorry.
They, I don't know.
Shade just
Check to see if
continues.
Say s-
That's up to you. I
Yeah,
can't
it's up to
control
you.
your actions.
Shade's gonna continue forward. now.
Begin to walk.
Echo like struggles to say something, but sees Shade has already started, so it's like, oh, I
Spice
should
like
catch him.
pats Gibbs on the back, even though you're on top of.
I'm on top of Bubs.
So she's just like, I see you.
Yeah, I try. Nice job, my friend. You've done great. Rose, look how great Shade did with his thing, despite not communicating the thing that he was doing. And I trust him to do the things that he needs to do in order for us to progress as a group.
As you're saying this very long-winded thing, Shade lifts the wires and continues to walk. You see Rose nod and say, that wasn't bad.
Yeah. Every day impressed. That's my motto.
That's how we got
Totally
to 89%.
oblivious.
Am I
She
right?
continues to walk.
Yeah, I rock with. Giddy up!
Yeah!
Yeah!
For you, Bubs, it's tough. With somebody else on you, these aren't electrified anymore. Now it's just really inconvenient.
Yeah.
You are like having to almost limbo with somebody on your back, but you make it through no
It's
problem.
better than spice on my back.
Right. You don't have to worry about me.
Hey,
Stop!
You walk 100 feet, 200 feet, 300 feet. You begin to see, as you walk close to, and now you're aware, about 520 feet deep into the ground.
500.
And here and there, you now, as you walk, are seeing more of these little roots flick and twitch. And here and there, the pebbles around you begin to fall. The movement of the trees above slowly, you'd imagine over hundreds of years, will collapse this tunnel. But you continue to walk. And once you get to about that depth, you begin to see below you the space opens up massively. While this was a sinkhole caused by the collapse of this ship into the ground, it seems to have collapsed into a much larger cavern that unfolds beyond. It is dark in this space, pitch black save for the faint glow, casting silver outlines across the stones of this cave. Here and there are like little pillars of rock that rise up and go into the ceiling, but largely this seems to be eroded maybe over time before the entire thing collapsed in underneath. Off to the right, as you walk in, the left side being just stone, sheer stone, the cave opens up massively, and for the first time you catch across 80 feet, maybe even more, the glint of a hull, silver. Finally, close to 600 feet deep in the ground, you put your eyes on the Vesk cruiser to go Tagatosh Oshai. You can see it has collided into the ground, and at this angle, you're seeing part of the port side tilted slightly. Another 10 feet down, and you can see there is a faint source of light along the hull. A single running light that illuminates a 10-foot wide doorway. Extending, you would recognize an airlock.
Like a change of atmosphere airlock
Yes.
going through to like vacuum of space.
In your ship, you
since
have
we're
one
in-
right there.
Yeah.
But yes, normally that would open to the vacuum of space. You're on the outside of a starship.
So this is like entering into the underground ship, essentially.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
I must just have a dog too. Is there poop? I look for poop
Make a
on the other
perception
side
check.
of the. Yeah, sure. Okay.
As she says poop, I'm going to be looking for poop as well. 'cause
Let me
that
get you a
triggers
little
me.
visual perspective.
Great.
We'd love to see a visual.
Guys, we gotta look at the cupcakes.
Like
Yeah, 18 plus 12 is 30.
You got it.
I'm just going to move this
Who
over.
wants a
Love a
cupcake?
30.
So
I
sorry,
love
one
it.
of them
carb
to taste
survivors.
I am like nervous about driving home, and I've not even finished mine.
We're all
I'm
gonna
good.
take
I literally had
a
3.
couple ounces of water.
Yeah. Oh, does anyone want
We
water?
hydrate here.
Yeah.
We're gonna hydrate.
I've started
We
going
hydrate
water,
with
'cause I want-
absinthe
I need to
here.
get-
Yes, I'm gonna have some carbs.
Fortunately,
I've
this
got
is too
both.
big for me to do in one piece.
We made corpse survivors in honor of
I
Gibbs.
am dying. I'm so
I'm
hot.
so-
I
yeah.
don't know about you guys, but I'm
made,
like,
like, a
having a
church
time
fan.
over here. Yeah.
So this goes here.
I'll break my spare face.
I think it is. I can't
Yeah,
tell
I've
if it's
been
the alcohol
diluting
or
it.
like the heat or
I've been
like
diluting
the,
it, but like I'm diluting it with more.
like the atmosphere of
this
party. Like
So these are going to have to go all the way. This
Yeah,
might
okay,
be
yeah,
the
yeah.
size of basically the
You want to
table.
move the mic wire?
No, we got it. Sorry.
There.
I got you. I got you,
This-
girlfriend.
Could you move the mic? Just lift it up. and
Or
put
we
it
just
on.
lift it up. Yeah. To the
That'll hold it down too. Cool.
So this, man, I had it all in an order. This is the left corner right here. This rises up like that.
Yeah.
So then what is this, my friend?
is that over here?
Maybe.
So this is a 9x9 grid here.
Holy yeah.
So that connects right there. This is going to connect.
No, this is gonna go this way.
here.
Yeah.
Who has the ship with the minis on it, though?
I have it in the back.
I have
Okay.
the minis right here.
Minis are right here.
No, this can't be right.
A 9x9 grid, but there's only 7 pieces.
Hang on, I might need to go grab this.
Wait,
We get advantage if
Give
we
me
solve
the
the
one
puzzle.
that's in your right hand.
Yeah. Did I not grab all the pieces? No, I did.
not right.
All of
What?
them.
So then that has to go in that.
This one has to connect with this one.
Six pieces. I cut down the last ones because I couldn't build a starship in time.
No,
There
that
you
doesn't
go.
go here.
No, wait, that one goes here.
That
Yeah.
one goes. That
That
one goes
one
there.
goes here.
How many people are watching this
Nope.
and are just really mad at us for not getting the puzzle right?
Yeah, I know. Really.
This connects with that.
So, okay, so maybe that's.
Nope.
Find the queen. Where's the queen? Where's
Find the queen.
Okay, so this one has like a little thing going on.
Nothing
Yeah,
connects
and so
with this
that's the
one.
path that
We
you're walking
definitely
down.
swapped them around in a circle.
You had it
Let
turned
me borrow
correctly
this for
before.
a second.
These
So that one
two-
like that.
This one
Boom.
goes like this. Okay.
Tuck that under there. So that
This
you
goes
can-
underneath
you
the
can see
mic.
That is the path that you guys are walking down
This is the
right
path.
now.
So we need
This
a
is
wall
the
here.
floor.
So that's that one.
Yep.
Oh, I got it. That one goes
This,
here.
that one goes dead center. Middle
turn one.
Because
bottom.
these two connect.
The one
So
that, Dan, you're holding goes in the middle
it's
bottom.
this way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like this show?
Well, no. Because
Yeah.
okay, yeah,
correct.
there. Then this.
Center?
No, he said middle
No,
bottom.
that's the center.
There's gonna be
No,
one
but this
open
one connects
side,
here.
and that is the side that the whole of the ship
He said
runs
it's middle
along.
bottom. So.
No, because look,
I may be
this
wrong. Yeah.
this
there-
goes.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
There we
We've
go.
done it!
And so you guys are coming from right in front of where Kara is. Nope.
That goes
Yeah, it's missing
this
the.
way.
No.
No.
Because there's like a little
Can't.
half piece right
There you
here.
go.
Okay.
Again,
You're
another
mostly.
Yeah.
impressive
There it
result
is.
for my
There it is.
GM.
There it is.
Nope.
Yeah.
Close, you're close.
This looks like these two go like
It goes
this.
like this.
Okay. I'll let you guys figure that out. But the most important part
No,
is,
this goes like
is that
this
you
somehow.
were walking. You know what's so funny? When I was drawing this
turn
out,
it 90
it was so
degrees.
tough.
Yeah, 90 degrees.
No, wait.
goes
No,
here.
no,
No, like this. No, I think Ari's right. If you turn it 90
Yeah,
degrees
and
like
you're
this.
good.
I've lost
Yeah.
control.
There you go.
Look at this.
Joe,
edge.
you always have control. The DM stands for dominatrix.
Switch
master.
these. Switch these.
No,
Switch these.
no,
Yeah. Look.
Oh my
If you're
god.
sitting at home and you want to take bets on the final formation,
Okay,
now's
Guys,
the
give
time.
us a wheel if you want us to succeed at this, because otherwise we're gonna fuck it up.
Okay, so this is the path. Then it's
So as you're
this one.
figuring,
Happy birthday, Ari!
Very-
there's one open area.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's it.
No, it's
That's
not.
one.
So those are corners. You can see that that's a corner.
This
Yes.
one. This one. This goes here.
Perfect. There you go. You guys are
Huzzah.
almost there.
No, that one connects with that one.
The one that has
side.
no edges, that goes
Skidoo.
right in front of Matt in the center.
Oops, skidoo.
Because there should be one wide open
Give me that one.
side.
I'm not helping with this. You know, I'm too drunk for this. No more.
I know. The one day that everybody's drinking is the day that I decided to do this
Yeah, why
puzzle.
you give us a puzzle that's complicated and real life?
See here?
It's
We have
not
the path
even-
right here.
Oh,
Why don't we go like this?
This goes.
No, why does this
I'm gonna
go-
have
why does
dreams
this
Here's
about
the
this.
thing,
go
though.
like this?
Here's the thing. These two, no matter what,
do you guys
these are
want me to
connected.
just step in?
And
Yes.
yes, too, no matter what.
You know what?
Right. So these four, no
wanna
matter
make
All
what,
take
are
your hands
connected.
off of this.
Do you want to maybe take a break?
Guys, you
Yeah,
know what?
yeah, that's a good idea.
My friends are
Yeah,
great,
look at that.
and I love you guys, but you're shit puzzles. Fuck you guys.
So what we're gonna do is we're take
trying
a
our
break.
best,
It is
goddammit.
7:30.
I'm not helping at all.
It is 7:30, which is a great time.
I think we
to take
did a good
break.
job.
Especially because I think it's a good time, especially with all the corpse survivors. I think.
Thanks, Phoenix, my friend.
Yeah. So it is 7:35. We'll be back in 10 minutes at 7:45. Hopefully, we'll
Bet on
fully
this
completed
map,
map.
team.
We'll see you then.
Promise we'll be better, we'll be hydrated.
Yo,
see.
no.
Howdy, folks. Oh my god. Welcome back. Thank you for sticking with us. You'll be pleased to see we did create a map. It is a little zoomed out, but you can now see the elements that we have created. So for all of you players, since I can introduce these to you, give me one moment, please.
Is that you? Where's
Oh, wait, you didn't even tell us.
Painted, but you're you.
Is that you?
That is no. There's actual Echo.
Oh,
Is
that's
coming.
the-
That is stand-in Echo.
Oh.
Echo has been ordered. Echo has been processed.
Oh, this is okay. That's
Hero
rough.
Forge has been great for us, and they really do come pretty quickly. But this one has taken a second.
Oh, that looks
Okay.
pretty good though for like a stand-in.
Yeah. So, the cupcakes crossing the cars. You all see
I don't know. You can do whatever you want with that.
on this map, you can see the area that you are all descending is kind of in the corner closest to me. There is a corner, or an edge of the map that is open, and all along that edge, the starship's hull rises up in areas all the way to the stone ceiling above. You can see there are roots that fall down, cascading over the hull, making the colors along the side almost impossible to see. You can't actually read the Vesk. Oops, sorry about that. The Vesk writing. Give me a second here. However, you can see up maybe halfway on the wall
Magic officer.
above where the bulkhead is that leads to the airlock. There is the gun deck for this battleship. Many of the cannons are twisted and broken. However, Echo, make a perception check as you lead this group down.
I believe in you.
I'm just gonna hold a cupcake by the frosting in my hand while I'm doing this. It's for luck.
We're doing great, guys.
It's so good.
Oh my god!
Okay.
Hold, please.
With all your modifiers, what does that 2 come up to?
12?
Ooh, you see along the gun deck of this ship ruined cannons and dark. It's hard to see that far. However, why'd you move that so far away from you?
Oh man.
Oh.
Olive has to actually point to
gonna
you
need
for
it
it
to
to
speak.
work. Because what I do notice about you, you move it away and then you're silent for the rest of the session. So just be cautious of that. But it's okay. You're allowed to be noisy.
We like your noise.
Yeah.
It's an ice cream cone.
Chat, feel free to tell us if Olive's being too noisy, but I'm sure that she's not. So, you can see the shadows across this ship. You see ruined gun emplacements. The only real light that you can see is a single running light above the bulkhead door. What would you all like to do?
The light is above the airlock, correct? On the bulkhead door?
Correct.
How far in is the bulkhead door?
So to the right, you see how there is no cave wall along the...
Down this way, that's where it is?
The ship runs
Okay.
all the way
Okay,
through.
cool.
The front of the ship disappears into the cave wall. The back of the ship, you don't even see the
I was
engines.
imagining it over here.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I would say... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Echo looks to Shade and says,
I do not have the ability to remotely access this doorway. Perhaps do you have the ability to open the airlock from this distance?
Not this distance, but I can get closer.
And it's about the middle of that space, so it's
So
pretty
yeah,
far.
I guess I would go. These are all the way up to the ceiling. All of
Correct.
these?
So all the ones that don't have any kind of dots, those go
Right.
up to the ceiling
Okay.
and form like solid pillars. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna make my way to like there until I get within range of my wireless hacking.
Sure. You walk out and into this cave floor. You feel resistance along your shin, but it disappears. Looking down, there is a small, snapped fishing line. You hear from up above in the shadows, and I need everybody to roll initiative.
Every time, I'm always super cautious.
I know, but the one time
You were not super
I was
cautious.
always
You're like,
fast.
I'm gonna move here.
I made the assumption that I was still being extra cautious because I'm always being extra cautious as Shade. But we came back from
do
break.
we
so.
need these
pillars?
things?
Yeah, it'll happen.
Well, I can put up
Just
my
put some
heavy dice
heavier
on.
stuff on it.
Oh, try
to you
flipping
guys.
it.
But I'm
Are you
Put
sure?
Oakfeld on.
No, don't put oak feather. The point of the wood one is it.
I meant more of like if we flip it around so the dice are inside, it might be.
Oh, there you go. Smarty with smarty.
Look at us
yeah.
with our thinking skills. Let me pull us into our
We're doing
combat.
so well tonight, guys. Wow.
Problem solving.
Wow.
Guys, who wants hydration?
Yeah, there you go.
I gotta finish this so that I have a
Yeah, right.
vessel
That
for
shitty
it.
cocktail. Yeah, I'm gonna hydrate my cocktail.
Hydrate your cocktail.
I mean, water it
Children,
down.
if you're watching, never make cocktails in a pitcher.
Pitcher cocktails always do lead to.
Oh, it's fine. It's just a little watered
I'm sorry.
down now.
Do you want me to get you a different one?
It's okay. No, please don't. Please do not get me more. I am fine.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I was trying to help you, but.
So,
I-
anybody for initiative natural 20?
Nope.
Alrighty. Anybody with a 25 to 20?
24 for spice.
24 for a spice. Alrighty. Second here, 24 for spice.
Had a real bad.
Anybody 20 to 15?
I'm 15.
Okay.
14.
Okay. 14 for Echo,
Real
15
bad
for
on this
Bubs.
initiative.
All right, 15 to 10,
13.
10.
13 for Gibbs, and a 10 for Shade. All righty. No problem. Not bad overall.
14.
Pretty bad.
So, Spice, you are going to go first. Then, an entity in the darkness, followed by Bubs, followed by Echo, followed by Gibbs, followed by Shade, followed by others. So, Spice, as you hear the mechanisms of something begin to whir, something large in the distance, what do you want to do?
Can I see what's attacking us right now?
At the moment, from where you are, you just have what kind of vision do Lashunta have?
Great vision.
Assume
Eyeball vision.
average. Yeah,
Fair
I'm
enough.
not gonna lie. I
Looking-
don't think she's got
No
any.
problem.
She's not nothing special.
In the darkness here, you can see the glowing of the lichen along the wall, along the floor, flashing almost like nerve impulses moving through. But aside from that, all you can really see is the doorway cast in light. But above it, you can hear this mechanism moving.
Well, everything I do kind of needs a target, and if I don't know what my target is, I'm gonna hold my action.
There you go. You hold your action. Spice, that is your turn. That brings us to. I just put my initiative away. Okay, so high up above in the darkness. Give me one moment here. You hear this mechanism. Spice, for a moment, as you're holding your action, there's this reminding kind of flash, and for a second, you are back on Akaton. In the desert sands, as they swirl around you, you remember sitting at one time at a bar, and a very similar sound overhead before these capital ship laser cannons opened up. And that is the very same sound that you are hearing now. And suddenly, there is a bright flash. Give me one moment here. And Shade, as you are the one who is easiest to see, there is a large laser that bursts at you. Shade, does a 24 hit?
Yeah. KAC or EAC?
EAC.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the fun thing. This is not a heavy weapon. This is a starship weapon. Starship weapons do their listed damage to player characters times 10. Just as a heads up.
I might be dead.
That was a double one.
Oh, that's,
So you take 20 points.
That's still pretty
of
bad.
fire damage
Damn.
as this huge capital ship battery fires at you. For just a moment, there is this bright flash as a laser beam streaks forwards and hits you. And in that moment, you can see up above, amongst the ruined turrets, there is one still very much active. You see at least 2 Vesk who are arming this cannon. And in that moment, suddenly your vision goes black as you get hit by the laser, and there's this burning, fiery sensation in your chest. However,
So, where are we on this map? Are we not on this map yet?
So you are all clustered over here on the walkway, still moving down.
Where is the starship that's aimed at us?
So see how there is no cave wall all along the side that
Yes.
you guys are on?
Yep, that's
This,
right here.
this is a battleship. So it goes all along that side, disappears into the cave over here, disappears into the cave over here. So you are just seeing the middle of the battleship. Roughly where your drink is where that turret is located, as well as the bulkhead door. Yeah.
So if I double move, can I get here?
What your movement's 30?
Yep. I don't understand why you guys are giving me this shit.
Those are for the
Well, people on the
turrets.
map, they're not going to be able to see
I
it.
wasn't.
Yeah.
You can get to roughly where Shade is.
And that's going to be
black
underneath the gun, so they can't hit me if I double move right now.
At the moment, Shade is probably about as close as they can target, and then you kind of get out of sight of the cannons.
Okay, so I'm gonna use my move action, and I'm gonna double move to where we are here.
Okay, sure. So put yourself on the other side of that rock column as Shade. You see that bright
Like
light.
towards here, right?
Yeah, as you're like moving across the cave floor, you see this bright light, and you dart off to the right, carrying yourself out of sight of the laser as much as you can find. You have to be about 5 feet back. Perfect.
So they can't hit me here, but
You are 5 feet beyond where they can hit you. Yes. So Shade is literally just on
right
the
at the
edge.
verge. Okay.
Yes. So anything else? That is your double move. So that is your held
that's my
action.
whole
That was your
action.
turn.
Yep.
That continues their turn. With both of you down there,
Oh no! I just walked into the line of fire.
Thanks.
you actually hear above, I think they're there. Tink. Suddenly, from over the
grenade.
side, you see a grenade tumble down. Go ahead and make a reflex saving throw, please. Actually, never
Oh, that
mind.
was stupid. I can't believe I did
Never
that.
mind. You're all set.
Oh, is he gonna blow it on himself? That would be
You
great.
see, or you hear, tink, you hear the pin being pulled from this grenade. You've set them off previously. You look up just in time to see the small orb strike the side of the ship in an area where it's warped and dented, and it tink, off and into the edge of the cave. There is as fragments shatter around the area on the other side of that rock column. Over there. As the parts kind of rain across the ground, you look down and Shade. You see these are not just normal fragments; these hook and are barbed. These would be very difficult to remove. However, that is their turn. That brings us to Bubs. Okay. Bubs, you hear this loud blast. You see the laser hit Shade and continue to carry before striking the wall behind him.
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my jets on.
Okay.
Just on my feet. Can I do that?
I mean...
I can do it on my elbows if it's not a big deal. But...
Yeah, sure. Why not?
But Gibbs and Bubs, just so we know, are sharing a movement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are tethered.
I imagine you're on my shoulders,
Yes.
so it's not a big deal.
So just my movement is given up to Bubs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm mostly doing this because I know I don't want to step on any tripwire. So I'm going to float up a couple feet. How high is the ceiling?
Looking up, you cannot see the ceiling. Oh, no, sorry. Here and there, so right around this area, the ceiling is something like 100 feet up.
Okay.
But as you get closer to the pathway, it gets taller and taller. That's where you know, it is the sinkhole.
Okay. I think I'm going to just probably find some cover. I'm going to yell to the group, everyone find some cover!
Okay.
And I'm going to move probably here.
Take Gibbs with you, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So you run forward, Gibbs kind of flopping around on your back. Anything else?
I'm going to hold my action to throw my axe at the first enemy, my hammer at the first enemy I see.
Okay, so you pull out this warhammer and you grip it tight. You wait for somebody to approach. No problem. That is your turn. That brings us to Echo. Gibbs, you're on deck. Echo, what do you want to do?
Echo's gonna move forward, maybe about. Am I like here? Is that where I am?
Yeah, you can be anywhere in that rough, like 15-foot space as you're walking down.
It's gonna be about here,
Okay.
and then it's gonna cast holographic clone.
Fantastic.
Whoa. That's new.
Which is a trick attack, like exploit. So I have to make an attack against the turret gun thing. And if you choose the target of your attack before you move, that one, your movement doesn't provoke attacks of opportunity.
Okay.
And you use your standard action to move. You can choose one creature, and you just don't provoke opportunity attacks from movement.
So for a moment, for all of you watching, you can see these small rivets along the left side of Echo emit this small burst of light. If you think about R2-D2 casting like the Princess Leia hologram, they almost look like that. but these holograms unite and form almost a secondary echo that runs off about 10 feet. For you, Shade, recovering from this blast, you hear the turret shift, kind of uncertain as to target. Doesn't fire.
So first I'm gonna do the stealth check, which it's against it's plus the CR. That's a 25.
It's CR plus 10 or just CR?
Hold on. It's CR plus 20.
CR plus 20?
That's so high.
It is real high.
It's like 24 or whatever, you know?
Give me 1
Like
second.
at the lowest, it's 20.5 or
Okay, what'd you roll?
Annoying.
yeah.
I rolled a 25.
That succeeds.
We love to see it. We love to see it.
That's great.
All right, and then I make my attack roll, which is an 18?
19.
18.
18, and this is against the you're saying you're doing it against the turret itself?
Yeah.
An 18. Unfortunately, that is a miss.
Shoot.
Yes.
Okay, well, none of that happens.
Okay. So you run forward.
I run forward, and I'm just an open target in
There
the
you go.
field.
No problem. And with your glowing blue eyes, it is very easy to see.
No.
However, that is your turn, Echo. That brings us to Gibbs. Rose is on deck.
Can I see the 2 people manning the turret?
From where you are, there's a brief moment in the laser flash that you can, but then it goes dark. You can't see them.
It doesn't matter, I don't actually need to see them.
There you go.
I know that they're there, so I do a mental nudge against them, and at second level, I'm going to cast Fear with a range of 100 feet plus 10 per
Nice.
level.
Okay.
It affects basically 2 living creatures of CR4 below
Okay.
that they can't be more than 30 feet apart, and they each need to make a will saving throw,
Okay.
of which your CR is 16. Or your
This is
DC
a will saving throw?
Yes.
They both fail.
Great. So they are considered frightened. They must
Nice.
flee or fight. And if they fight, they take a -2 penalty to basically every check.
Okay.
But they are frightened of, I assume, me, as I implant in their minds and their dreams that I am scary and I am coming from them out of the darkness.
Okay. So you reach out and you cast the sensation of fear into their minds, amplifying it from your general direction. And in this moment, you can hear the turret shift back and forth, uncertain as to who to target. And then all of a sudden, you hear, "What's that over there?" You can hear this other voice speak out, "It's nothing. It's... what is that?" And you just hear very concerned voices. But anything else?
No, I'll take some rings if you want to give me a
I'll
towel.
give it to you. You don't see the people yet?
Yeah,
I would
cool.
say, go ahead.
Just to remind me that when they make an attack, they take a penalty.
I like to imagine that the fear object that they're seeing is like kind of like a compilation of Bubs and Gibbs on each other's shoulders, and it's just like this weird like darkness creature with multiple arms.
I feel like we're eldritch horrors, like reaching
Yeah.
out of the darkness,
Yeah.
but like we're also like the floppy tube mans out front of the car
Like the
dealerships.
inflatable tube man.
Yeah, and we're like, woo, 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 woo.
Took an Elden Ring boss.
Yeah.
and made it
Anything else,
That's
Gibbs?
terrifying.
Besides being terrifying, I have no movement of my own, so I will know I have nothing else to do.
Fair enough. That brings us to Rose. Rose, no longer around anybody. She's going to move up to where Gibbs and Bubs are, seeing them kind of tethered together. She's going to run up, standing right next to you, Gibbs, looking beyond you. She's going to say, "You never communicate." She's going to hold out her hand, and you can see suddenly the petals on the tips of her fingers open up and drift into the darkness. As they reach over to the area where Shade and Spice are, suddenly they erupt like a dandelion that blows in the wind, and fog spreads in a 20-foot cloud across both Shade and Spice, concealing both of you.
Nice.
Wow.
That stays for one turn. So she pulls back into cover with that, and that is Rose's turn. That brings us to Shade, followed by the final member of their group.
Okay. How far away am I now from this here turret that shot me?
So you are only maybe like 20 feet away from the hull, but then about 40 feet up, there is the turret.
Cool. Can I jump to them and use my remote hack to overload the turret?
You can certainly try. So you take off into the air. This big cloud of smog that had just been cast around you, you rocket out of right back into sight. Rose next to you, Gibbs, just goes, oh my God. You get up close, make a computers check, because you kind of have one shot. You aren't able to check for countermeasures for what it's worth.
Isn't he dreamy?
So this is actually my class effect.
Okay.
So I just do it as a standard action. Let me see what it does. So if it's a manned item,
Correct.
which the turret is presumably manned. Yes. Or, yeah. Well, I guess, is it in someone's possession?
No.
Okay. So they can't attempt a reflex saving throw to negate this effect.
Okay.
They are unable to use it for a round.
Okay. Awesome. What is that called? Overload?
Yeah, overload.
So at this moment, you've done this before and you had to do it through contact. You remember hopping up and slapping that thing to stop it from spitting squeaky out into the monster. However, as you jump into the air, you realize you're not going to make it. You reach out with your mind, wirelessly casting this net as far as it will go, and you connect with a node on this cannon. In this brief moment, you recognize this is a heavy laser cannon, first of all, but secondly, you feel the mechanisms that would fire this, and as if you grab it with a virtual hand, you twist, and you feel them crumple. This is disabled for the next turn.
Cool. And where do I land?
You would land basically right at the edge of the map, right in front of the steel. You can reach out and touch the starship.
Okay. And I guess I'll be ready to get them on the next turn, right?
Fantastic.
Yeah. Draw my weapon.
That brings us to the last person.
Who's a deep-voiced man?
Vesk.
Oh, man, you guys are doing a pretty good job hiding, with one exception. Echo.
Hi.
As you look up into the darkness, you see a shadow loom, and suddenly this red line goes across the laser and then up, and you look down, seeing this red point right on your chest. They're going
Are
to
they
take a
frightened?
shot. They are frightened,
So
yes.
they get, let me give you, well, you can give it back to me
Yeah, I
because it
guess
lasts forever. But, okay. Here, put that near, I guess, shape.
My vest didn't come in time, so we're using Dragonborn.
So they get a -2 penalty to attack rolls, saving throws, and skill checks.
Good to know. Good to know. Okay. All right. So with a -2, that is going to be. That's pretty good. 13 to hit.
A 13 against.
That's against your KAC.
I've got a 17.
There you go. So you see this red dot, and for just a moment, the bolts along the left side have this almost default or almost faulty holographic projection that's not quite working in this moment. That's just enough. You see this red dot jerk off to the side and fire. You don't hear the sound right away. You feel the impact, almost as if something pushes you aside, and then you hear crack as this sniper rifle almost catches up from the bullet. But that is a miss. You hear ricocheting behind you.
Would I be able to see him when he fires that?
Where are you? I would say, yeah, you can see about 5 feet off from where Shade is staying.
Okay.
To your right, there is this figure that leans over, fires, and then leans back.
Would I have been able to use my prepared action to throw my hammer?
You can. That is
Pretty far
close to
throw.
100.
I'll do it.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. That's like 120 feet.
Let's do
Plus the hypotenuse.
I'm thinking about the hypotenuse there. It's
okay.
about 120 feet. So,
I'll do it. I don't care.
give it a shot.
That is a natural 20. Write it down on your list.
I gotta add it to the list.
I'm almost disappointed.
I started this.
This Dan does better than nothing.
So far, so good.
1-to-1, natural 20, natural 1. I like that. So you take this hammer, holding it tight. You're waiting and
It's
waiting
on,
and
yeah.
waiting. And then all of a sudden, crack, you see this bright light. And almost as soon as you see the ignition, you twist. As the hammer ignites, you pull it back and throw it. Almost as you're pulling it back, Gibbs, with your rope, you come undone from Bubs. You swing around, and it's almost like a counterweight. You trebuchet this axe, Bubs, off and into the darkness. Make a damage roll. Remember, double everything on the dice.
It's the other one of this.
I used it. It's right here.
That's so stupid.
That is a 5 plus, I believe, I minus, because it's not my minus 2, so minus 4
Mathfinder.
of my.
I know, yeah, always.
You do it the
9.
best, most convincing.
Because I don't have my weapon
Yes.
specialization.
nice.
I don't have my.
And that's doubling the
striker.
dice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Starfinder, you double dice when you crit.
So 9. You throw this up. It should be impossible. This is a huge hammer.
Yeah.
But as you swing and as Gibbs fires off on this rope and then pulls down,
6
you
plus 9.
generate just a little bit of extra momentum and this flies out.
30.
For everybody in the cavern, you see this magma encrusted hammer up and through the dark over the starship hull. And in this brief second, as it hits the vest, you can see this dark cloak thrown across them. They're holding a sniper rifle. They have other weapons at their hip, but they get slammed with this. Is there a critical effect to that weapon?
I think there is.
I believe there is.
Staggered.
Stagger.
So
Wow.
I do 6 plus 9, so 15, and then
That's
it's
my
double.
man.
Only
Look
take
at what
a
he
single
threw it.
30 damage.
Comes
plus
your
stagger.
points of damage. Can you put that guy next to him?
They can
That's
only.
staggered.
Oh, and he gets this too. Hold on. Let me give you
Damn.
this.
He's not afraid.
That's a lot of.
That is
Oh,
not the one that's
that's-
frightened.
oh,
Is it-
there's
you
three
would
of them?
imagine there's another one that's frightened off to
I'm
the
sorry, my
side.
bad.
So this one is directly next to him.
30 points of damage.
Yeah. And that's not using my mini
As it
striker
hits,
bonuses.
just 10 feet to the right of that other dragonborn. Yeah, perfect. So as this hits, the magma from the head of this hammer bursts around and into the chest. You see it sink into the chest plate, which begins to crack apart. Steam rising up. You can all smell cooking blood from above. Yeah.
And as I do this, I'm building myself up, and I say, ice is like lattice. It is light as a feather, but massive as a glacier.
Like lettuce?
Lattice, like lattice.
Lattice?
With the natural 20. For just a moment, as you say that, you are no longer in this cave. You sit in this office, and outside through the window, you can see what is a simulated screen but falling snow. You know that you're aboard Prime Station. These almost screens to form fake windows. But as you see the falling snow, you see Dr. Maldross, who kind of, as your hand being bandaged for some reason, you hear him say something very similar to what you just said about ice being like a lattice, and then right back. However, great strike, Bubs. That individual up above, badly hurt. However, that is your turn. That is your held action, right?
Yeah, that's my turn. Yep.
That brings us, that was that individual shot. That brings us to the top of the round.
Is there not that I want this, but is there not one more baddie up there?
There is not. So you saw one drop a grenade and one use the turret. So you'd imagine probably 3. They're wearing that.
Okay.
So that brings us to the top of the round. Spice, you are up. That is followed by the 2 of the individuals who are frightened, and then Bubs. Spice, what do you want to do?
So I assume this figure that is 5 feet in front of me is Horlax.
From where you are looking up, and again, those are like 40 feet up on this gun deck. There's a turret. They're all standing up there. But as you look up, hard to tell.
Okay, so I'm gonna use my entire movement to get up there.
Okay, make an athletics or acrobatics check, your choice, as you're climbing up, and it is tilted, so it's not impossible, but you're climbing up the side of a rusted steel starship.
Is the entrance not visible, or is it not even close to here?
There's an airlock at your level, a little bit tilted to the left. It is closed. You see the light kind of over top, and that's the only thing that you see really at your level. Up above, it's kind of like a sheer. It's the outside of the starship, and then the gun emplacement is up above.
So Spice is trying to get in.
Yes, there's a door in front of you.
So naturally I'm gonna go for the door, and That's what I'm going for.
Absolutely. You get up to the door. You can see there is a window, and beyond you can see this is an airlock, and the interior door is open. You can see the inside of the starship. There are red running lights. However, as you locked.
Okay, well, if that's my whole...
That only takes you, 10 feet of movement to get to that door.
Okay, well, if that's my whole movement, I'm also going to trick attack.
There you go.
And I'm going to aim for this red one.
There you go.
Up there. So I need to attempt a bluff check before. And since it's a trick attack, there's literally so many positive modifiers.
I know, yeah. You roll like 40 dice for this.
I have 3... Well, it's already... It's an automatic +4.
Wow.
Okay, so... okay, we start with 15.
Okay.
Rolled a 1. So 16 plus 6.
Okay.
20
22?
plus 4. 28.
Okay, and that's
That's
against...
if I roll a natural 1, you guys.
That's against what? That's against...
Bluff check.
Okay. But that's contested, right? That's contested by a sense motive check?
Let's see. When you...
That's the DC 20 plus.
Gotcha.
CR.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, so a DC equal to 20 plus the target CR.
And your total was 24?
Yes?
You succeed by 1.
You're flat-footed, and so I'm going to take a shot at you with my laser pistol.
Okay.
One of the
You can
guys.
see magma seeping into this individual's armor, into their cloak, which catches fire where the magma touches it. The sniper rifle kind of drops on a sling to their side, and they begin to start to put themselves out. But you have a perfect frame shot as they are lit from behind.
Was a 13 hit?
That is a miss, unfortunately.
You're still flat-footed, though.
As they kind of fall, you fire up. They stumble back, trying to put themselves out, very much flat-footed, not even holding their weapon at this moment, but excellent work. That is your turn, Spice?
Yes, I need to make it noted that I'm at the door, though.
There you go. So, that is going to bring us to the other two Vesk, if you want. Oh, where did my third Vesk go?
I don't know,
There's
but
one
here
over
you go.
here.
If you want to just put
This
that
guy's
over, you
scary.
can put him over
We're
there.
Scared.
To the left or to the right?
You see two Vesk peeking over, and both of them, to the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. The two frightened ones should be next to each other. Yeah, perfect. So, you can see both of them lean over, and at this moment, based on where all of you are, with Shade kind of, with Spice tucked into the doorway.
I mean, I think we're both, like, up against the wall of the hull.
Yeah,
right?
Echo, you're the only one that's really visible still. So,
-2, please. If they're gonna attack, otherwise they have an option to flee from Give.
the first thing that you hear.
Flat-footed.
Yes, they have a lot of negatives. Don't worry, I played Starfinder. So you hear this turret from above, and
Square
then
root of 7.
the turret doesn't seem to be working. And in fact, to confirm that, you hear, "It's not working." The other person, a little bit more with it, is going to pull out their weapon. They're going to take a shot at you, Echo. This is with so many negatives. I actually don't know that they can hit. But they're going to give it. They're going to give it the old college try. Okay. Echo, does a 21 against your EAC hit?
Does.
All right.
Really?
So
It's a 21 still.
I mean, yeah, wait a sec.
still
Well, I don't know
fun.
why I said really. That would
Yeah.
smash my heart.
yeah.
you take 9 points of electric and fire damage as this microfusion rifle pulses this almost glowing light through the darkness before it strikes you, and almost seems to at once pull elements of your metallic body in and burn them. But that is their turn. That is going to bring us to... I keep closing my initiative order.
Yeah, why you do
I
that?
don't know. That is going to bring us to Bubs. Echo, you are on deck. Bubs, what do you want to do?
Seeing Spice is kind of surrounded by some people when she's trying to get in the door, I'm going to fly up and be like, must protect.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that.
Go
Take
for
Gibbs
it.
with you because we're sharing a movement.
Yep.
Thank you.
Can you? I can't reach. Can you?
Yeah, just tuck him in there. Gibbs, all of a sudden, Bubs, like, jacks his arms down to his side. like it's almost like a weird little skip and then straight forwards. Yeah, you have to like grab onto this. It's almost like you have a bridle and you're just like really just hanging on.
You try to
do
grab
have
her
a-
hair, but you can only see his bald head.
You've got pauldrons. I like slip my fingers into that,
Yeah.
and like
There you go, no problem.
there I am.
So you slide in next to Shade and Spice.
And the one who Spice just attacked, would I be able to reach them?
So looking up, they're 40 feet up from you.
Yeah.
So if instead of making your movement there, you want to make your move straight up, that is roughly from where you guys were, like about 100 feet.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
Yeah,
Okay. Is there a door in front of me?
there
Like
is.
the
So Spice is like tucked right up into like a 10-foot wide doorway
Okay, I know what I'm
that
doing.
leads to an airlock.
I'm going to sunder the door.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. I'm going to do it with a normal attack roll because I know that time when we did the Harbinger robotic, I could not break the door.
Or the time that we did
That
the laser.
The laser tag
you, like,
episode.
10
That's what I was talking about,
All of
Harbinger.
it,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fucking slaps.
Great. Glad for this.
We all
13
learned from
plus
that
10,
episode.
so 23
23.
Yep.
And what is the DC for this? Because I remember it was pretty high.
for sundering.
Yeah,
Oh, jeez, I don't know.
It's
I remember
for,
I asked you.
no worries.
Go to your thing.
The book?
So
We're at the laser
reaching
thing,
back and trying to strike
door.
this.
There's nothing. There's nothing on
I
this.
tried
No,
to
it's
get
not.
it in, and he
It's
did
not a
everything
touchscreen.
else, and it was awful.
It's not in there. It's in the book.
So this is useless
Okay.
as far as because it's concerned.
Yeah.
I would show you.
So you get a +2. Okay. You reach back as you strike at this door. You're doing this with just your bare hands or with the plasma thing?
My plasma thing.
Okay. You ignite this, casting a red glow around you and the others in the space,
Yep.
and you strike. The door buckles in. You strike again, buckles in again, just a little bit more, and you hear air escaping.
Nice, nice.
It's mostly open, not quite all the way.
Okay.
However, with this last burst of strength, you rip it about 3 feet wide. You can get it.
Wow, you've never done
We'd love
that
to see
before.
it.
First try. The door is sundered. What do you want to do?
I literally was like, it's gonna take you 10 rounds to do this.
Yeah, I
but
thought so.
I'm
was
going
wrong.
to just. I don't have any move action left, so I'm just.
How funny.
And I have no attack action, so I think there's nothing I can do.
There you go,
Yeah.
grouped up in a nice
Yeah.
big group right above people with grenades. So
Yeah.
that is the end of Bub's turn. That brings us to Echo. Gibbs, you're on deck. Echo, all of your companions now clustered right in front of you. What do you want to do?
Echo's not joining that cluster, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Echo is going to move a little bit this way.
Okay.
What is this magic effect again? What is the?
That's
That
the
is
one who's
flat-footed.
staggered, right?
No, the
No.
stagger is the
Oh.
one to the
They're
right.
frightened.
okay.
That's frightened.
That's the.
No, the
No, the
Frightened
frightened
are the
one's
two yellow
yellow.
ones.
So that's
Flat-footed is the pink one, and then the
Purple.
purple is staggered, I believe.
Okay.
So they have limited amount of moves and things.
Yeah, they're all very
I have a
limited
list.
in what they can
There's
do.
a lot
Not
of
the whole
things.
list, but some of it.
Okay. Once again, I will land a trick attack someday.
One day, okay, yeah.
Someday. We're gonna try it again.
Go ahead, start with your bluff check.
Well, there's 4 different things.
This
At
is-
least for mine. I don't know
Echoes
about
is a
yours.
stealth.
We're different
Okay.
types of operatives.
Gotcha,
Mine's
gotcha,
gonna be
gotcha.
computers checks for bluff.
Okay.
Love to see it.
Okay.
You'd love to see
Job,
it.
girl.
Okay,
Girlfriend.
this is another success. Maybe this is the session where I succeed on
Okay.
all of my stealth checks,
Yeah,
but none
make-
of my actual attacks.
Make your attack roll. In this brief moment,
Premature.
as Bub
I saw your
slams,
roll. That was good.
as Bub slams into this door, you could hear above, "They're getting in." The other one goes, "Well, the cannon's not working." But in this moment, they're like off. You can't see their eyes, but you imagine they're not looking at you. You dart across. You feel hidden.
I forgot to mention, I'm going for the one in the middle.
Okay.
And that was a 19 on the die for a grand total of 33.
Yeah, that
Holy
hits.
fuck.
But that's not a
Absolutely
hit. Sorry,
that
that's the stealth check.
hits. Okay, that's
Yeah.
even better.
I'm just
Never mind. Go.
afraid, scaredly rolling. Scaredly? Oh god damn it.
What's the total?
But that's a 9. Come on.
What's
come
the
on, come on.
total?
Do the total.
16.
Do the total.
16? Okay. Okay, that is a miss, unfortunately. Or actually, sorry, with flat-footed, is it -2 to their?
It's
their,
-2 to like everything.
Is it also to their AC though? That's
Yes, I think it is.
Yes, -2 penalty to AC. They cannot make reactions. And then if they're
The
also
-2
shaken,
penalty is the most important thing at this moment because you succeed by 1.
Nice.
That is the theme of this session, apparently.
Wow!
Really, really good.
Echo!
Yeah, for
We
the win.
love to see it.
nice job, girlfriend.
Okay.
Hey, friend.
So we're gonna want that one. And it's
Do
38.
some fucking damage.
This is a good one. That's a good one.
Thank
And that's
you.
a good one.
It's a good thing you made that thing. I thought it was going to be much less redemptions today because it's more expensive, but I was wrong.
Yeah, no.
I've got, like,
and people are redeeming both.
Tens
them.
of thousands
there's
saved
no,
up.
like-
Oh, they've already unlocked the next thing. I know, yeah.
Tens
14
of
points of
thousands.
damage.
14 points of damage. All right.
Nice job, Echo.
Nice.
Nice
What?
job.
Finally,
Damn.
and more flat-footed, I guess.
So
I mean,
the
yeah.
one who is currently flat-footed that you fired at, you can see, you hear the person go, well, the turret's not working. This person turns as if they're about to speak, and suddenly from the darkness, there is this bolt that strikes them. You see them spin, almost dropping to one knee. That's a good amount of damage.
Whoa.
Yeah. All right, anything else, Echo?
That would be it.
Oh, fantastic. Gibbs, you are up. Rose is on deck. Shade, you are in the hole.
So I only need to identify one of the 3 people up there. So I target in on them, pulling a ball of earwax out of my ear and pulling it and like making it like Play-Doh.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just bounce it to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Force
I'm gonna
this.
make a range spell attack against its EAC, whichever one I can target.
Sure, yeah, no problem.
Oh, you're gonna do website?
Nice.
You won't get mine.
That is 17 to hit, please.
Okay, and that's against the one who is like smoldering with molten lava. That certainly hits.
Yes. Cool. So that does 3d6 force damage.
Whew.
And then it ricochets, because this is hurl force disc, if you can't tell this spell from its
No, I
description.
know. Yeah, I know. Force
I hate this spell, but it works effectively. So that's 10 damage to the first guy. And then it's going to go hit the second guy with a dirty 20.
Yeah, dirty 20 hits.
All right.
I will say the first guy covered in magma, as this disc up and strikes him, you can see, still trying to put this out, it hits him in the shoulder. He goes a little bit off to the side, and you just hear, whoa, off the side. You see this burning Vesk fall 40 feet to the ground. Hitting the ground, you hear a loud snap, and the burning body does not move. Yeah, you can just
Nice.
hurt him dead.
Down.
Nice shot.
And then the next one was a dirty 20
Yep,
to
that
hit.
hits.
And then that is way less damage. That is 6 total damage.
It's total damage. As it ricochets off and strikes this other person, you can see they duck, reacting partially, and so it skims across their neck. But even in this darkness, as you see like the laser fire going off, you see this little of blood, like certainly a lot of damage.
And then the last one, it also is going to hit because they're all within 15 feet of each other. Ooh, that is also a dirty 20.
That hits as
We
well.
love
Damn.
I got 2 16s in a row. I'm a fortunate girl. That one's much more damage.
It's because your
with
birthday.
10 total damage to the last guy.
So this disc, the first person it hits, they spin and fall. The second person, it hits them right in the neck. You see right by. And finally, the last person off, who's like, the cannon's not working, turns over to keep talking and right into their throat. You hear this, not working, and then kind of quiet for a second.
Nice. So
then-
do we only have 1 target up there, or we still have 2?
Still 2.
Okay.
Okay, so that is your turn, Gibbs.
Yeah, I rub the bald head of Bubs like a Buddha belly for good luck.
Fantastic.
Can we start LARPing in these sessions?
My hands aren't long enough to LARP, but yes.
That brings us to Rose's turn. Rose is going to come up behind where you are, Echo. Echo, are you looking hurt at all?
Not particularly hurt, just mildly perturbed.
Okay.
Tired or bleeding?
There's some bruises.
Next to you, as you're like holding onto the stone, looking next to you, suddenly you just see these vines, and then like the moss and the flower petals, and Rose is like standing there also now looking around. But she's gonna hold her action in case you get hurt. You imagine probably ready to help you. But that is gonna be her turn. Shade, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna jump up onto like the top where the turret is.
Sure.
Literally on top of the turret, I think.
Yeah, you can jump 40 feet, right?
I think it's 30 feet up and 10 feet forward.
So this
I'd
is
have to check
40
when my
feet.
thing's
It's 40
done.
feet up.
Okay.
So
I think so. My max height is 40 feet.
perfect.
Okay.
Then you can do that. So from where you're standing right now, you see this Vesk hit the ground, still burning a little bit, and looking up, you see nobody looking at you at this moment. So you propel yourself up with these jets igniting and bringing you up to the surface. As you land, you can see there is a heavy laser cannon, similar to the one that you have on your ship, although bigger. The Vesk currently is like choking, and then suddenly you see this small Gibbs earwax ball like come out into this onto the ground. But you are standing up there. The other person looks badly hurt.
So it's just the one left up there?
You see two that are left.
Two left up there.
One
Okay.
in the turret, one standing up. You can see holding this pulse rifle.
All right. To the one who is in the turret's seat, I'm going to fire the gravity gun at.
Okay, make an attack roll.
And is he's within 10 feet of the ledge, right? That the other guy just fell off of?
Yeah, but so there's the cannon, there's open sides where that you can get in and out. So firing will knock him out of the turret, but
okay.
it won't knock him off the
Okay.
ship.
All right. I'm going to knock him out of the turret. Then.
Do it.
That's 17 to hit?
17 hits. So from where he is, you can see just exhales this piece of earwax. He just looks around and just goes, "What is that?" And then this burst of gravity, and he is ripped from his seat and fired out along the deck. You hear the sound of his scales scrape along the steel. What else?
That's it. I'm just gonna like get ready to prevent them from getting back to this thing.
No problem.
No move actions left.
That brings us to the person on the ground's turn. They're dead. They're burning. That brings us to the top of the order. Spice, you are up, followed by the remaining Vesk, and then Bubs.
The door is open in front of you.
You
Doors
see in
open.
front of you, 3 feet wide, a rent in this door. The pressurized air over you, and you can just see clear space in front of you.
So Spice, she like sees Bubby's hammer on the ground. Spice is gonna pick up Bubby's hammer.
Sure. You lift it off the ground, magma dripping off the head and
Not the
onto the
first
earth.
Yuck!
But you hold this item that belongs to Bubs.
So can I have another move action if I pick up this hammer? If I don't take a different action?
So, I mean, I would argue,
Is it a swift action to pick something up?
yeah, you can swift action to pick something up. So you still have your move action and your standard action.
Okay. So if that's the case, so Spice like picks up Bubby's hammer and she like feels the weight and like gravity of this weapon, and she like looks up into the starship that she recognizes, and she double moves into the starship to
Okay.
find Horlax.
You run the first 5 feet into the airlock. The door in front of you shuts. The door that Bubs ruined can't shut, and you hear as it attempts to vent all the oxygen out of this trapped airlock. However, as Bubs has destroyed it, it cannot trap you in a vacuum. So you are just alive in a locked room. You can still exit if you want.
I don't understand. So we're
imagine
not in
this.
it?
The airlock has 2 doors, right? There was one that Bubs destroyed. The other one was open. You could see into the starship. As you ran in, that one shut. And you imagine if Bubs hadn't destroyed the door, the oxygen would have been pulled out and you would have begun to suffocate.
Oh, so can I swing this hammer at the door?
Yeah, make an attack roll.
Okay. Well, I don't have the the
Hammer's death.
specs, but I do have
That's
melee.
right here.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you had your
I am proficient.
There's no attunement in Starfinder. You can just use whatever you pick up. No big deal. We're good here.
Well, this is not a magical weapon.
I love these, by the way.
Yeah, those are
They're
awesome.
my favorite.
We have
I
Polaroid
want to
cameras
keep
going
them
on
so
today.
much.
Oh. All right. Well, I'm gonna
That's the
take that.
best roll.
Unfortunate. I mean, it's a 9 plus 5 is an 14
A
to break the
14?
door.
That hits the door.
Okay.
Go ahead, roll. I think it's a D8.
Oh, yeah.
Do I even have that here?
Yeah, you definitely have a D8. It looks like a little.
here, I got it.
Yeah.
6.
A 6. I think it's a D10. However,
Well, sorry.
It is
Wait.
D10, yeah.
Sorry.
D8 is a little-
Wait. I got it.
yeah,
Still 6.
still 6. Look at that. Okay.
It's on literally the combat cam. You guys can.
Yeah. You lift up this hammer, and as you enter the space, you swing it around. As you hit the door, the whole door buckles inwards, and you see this space rip open, only about a foot wide. You take the hammer back, slam it again, a little bit more. You're able to enter the space.
Nice.
You run in.
Girlfriend.
Cute. That was Bubby's hammer.
Oh, you can't break up move actions, actually.
No,
So
that's-
unfortunately, you're still in the airlock, but you can see beyond red running lights.
I have hurry.
Huh?
I can do
Oh.
hurry on myself. So I still have a standard action, right?
Yes, you do.
I'm
Well,
gonna
'cause you
grand
attacked.
hurry on myself.
Right. You attacked.
Yeah.
That is a
Oh,
standard
you're right.
action.
You're right. You're right.
So
I
at the
attacked
moment,
door. Never mind.
you don't have anything left. You have a reaction.
I'm. Reaction to what?
That's up to you, but that's
If
usually not
someone
on your turn.
attacks you or like.
That brings us to
out.
the two of their turn. So Shade, you're up there. You see the one who's on the ground, like crawl to their feet. They're bleeding a little bit. However, they seem the least hurt of the two. They are going to each drop their weapons and draw what look like curved blades. These blades, dark metal, and as you see them flash out at you, Shade, these are carbon steel. However,
They'll take a -2 penalty at least.
one of them's
they're
taking a
afraid,
-4,
right?
actually.
Well, one's afraid. Both are afraid? I don't know.
Okay, so one rolled under 0.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
The other
Wait,
one,
what is it?
The other one is going to roll an 11
Against KAC or
against KAC.
Yeah, it's either way, it's a fail.
He moves forward, swinging with the sword. The one that's in the turret has to climb through the turret, swinging a little disoriented. Clang! They're not even able to enter. The other one crosses the space, swings. You're able to dodge out of the way using elements of your propulsion jet to move just a little
I feel
bit.
like I'm just kind of in the frame of the turret,
Sure.
just kind of like ooh ah.
There you go. You managed to dodge. That is their turn. That brings us to you, Bubs.
Okay.
Bubs, you see Spice take your hammer and rip open the door in front of you. You see more air escape, but the doors cannot close, so she is not trapped. What would you like to do?
I would like to go through the door that she just broken into, and I would like to do an action on my turn, a skill check.
Okay.
I would like to do a perception check to check for traps.
Make a perception check.
I did not do that.
That is a
why you
7
keep Bubs
plus.
You guys were so careful coming down, and then Shade sets up a trap. Spice sets up a trap.
It was after the break.
15.
15. With the 15, you look out and into the space. As you enter in through the airlock, you're in an 80-foot long, what would be like a main corridor of a ship.
It
This
is
is
less than 20 by 20?
sorry. What is what less than 20 by 20?
Oh, no, I think that's my diligence searcher feat. I don't think that applies.
Yeah. You
Sorry.
would need that for an area, and I think you need to take 5 for that.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, yes, that's what it is, yes.
so you're in an 80-foot long primary corridor. This is what would be the center of the craft. Currently, there are low red circular running lights that run along either side of this 30-foot wide corridor. There is a strip that run along the top of the center as well. That's what provides most of the light. The ceilings here are about 10 feet tall. The wides use angle supports to narrow towards the top. There are many doors along this corridor. With that check, the first thing that you notice, if you go about 10 feet further in and look up, there is a glinting metal circle that embeds itself into the ceiling, and you would imagine that is a weapon that drops down. But at the moment, hasn't noticed you. You imagine maybe 5 feet closer, and it will.
I'm just going to... I already used my action to do the skill, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What?
So I'm just going to communicate to Spice and Gibbs.
Guys, there's a trap right above. Don't move any further until we disable it.
And that's my turn.
Sure. You hear that from inside from
Why not
Bubs.
Shade and Echo?
That brings us to
Because you're
Echo.
outside. I don't think you would hear me.
Echo outside, you with Rose with like a hand on your shoulder. What do you want to do?
I just watched like 3 of my companions vanish into the ship
Yeah.
with no backup.
So, my bad.
Who's gonna attempt to rush through?
No problem. You dart out into the darkness, crossing the space. You don't get shot at.
Sweet.
You make your way in. You have to crawl through the ripped open doorway, but you enter the airlock. If you want beyond, you can see that there is this corridor that Bubs stands in, a little tense.
Do I still have line of sight on the 2 outside?
When you get up to the door and anywhere beyond, even 5 feet out from the door, you don't have line of sight of them
Okay.
above.
Sorry.
Chosen this lot in life.
Echo would kind of signal people forward, and I've moved half my movement.
Can't break up movement.
Get there. So by just moving in there, I'm done.
Unless you want to continue to move.
I
It
mean,
has to be as one, segment.
Trap!
What?
You don't know what I'm saying.
No.
But we're having a conversation that you walk in on, because every 6 seconds is the same 6 seconds. That's all. That's all. You don't know what it means. But there's a conversation, right?
Yeah,
Just FYI.
okay, next question.
sure.
Bear with me, I'm not super familiar with Starfinder.
No worries.
Can I dash? Is that a thing you can do?
You need what?
Run.
Dash?
Run.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you can take a full action, which encompasses your whole turn basically to run.
And it does 4 times your movement speed.
Yeah.
4? I thought it was double.
No, it's
Full
4
action,
times your
yeah,
movement.
full
That's
action.
a withdraw.
I've just been doing double this whole time.
Yeah, it's 4 times if you dash.
So a
if you take the
standard
action.
Yeah, you can use a standard action, I believe, to double. Or you can use your full action, which is your move action, standard action, and swift action, and that quadruples your distance.
You can't do because you already used your move action. So you can only use the double thing.
Correct.
But you know that there's a conversation going on in tension. But you can do with that as an android what you will.
Why is it always got to be as an android, Ari?
Because you guys are shit at insight.
So what are you doing?
So there's a giant hallway. I have
Newsflash.
Bob's here, very tense.
Insight doesn't exist.
Spice is ahead, and
Yep.
Gibbs is like kind of in the middle.
Conversing.
Gibbs is
on-
attached to Bubs.
Gibbs is attached
Yeah.
to Bub
Yeah.
still.
Still.
Okay. Echo did not expect to see this. Echo expected more people.
Nope.
Echo would probably attempt to assess the situation and see if there's anything to do. So would I need to perceive the traps first?
So you already heard Bubs yell out there was a trap.
Okay. Can I attempt to disarm them?
Sure. How do you want to do that?
Do I see them?
Yeah, you can see it.
Is there it's part of the ship, right?
Correct. It's embedded 10 feet high into the ceiling.
Echo might try to shoot it.
Yeah, make an attack roll. Absolutely. That is technically hacking.
Technically hacking.
It's usually how Gibbs hacks, actually.
That's a 25.
Usually bites things. 25?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you kind of slide into the space, you see Bubs, you see Gibbs, you see everybody crowded around this broken doorway, and you see Bubs looking up. You follow the eyesight. You see this little, almost like a bulb that comes off the ceiling. Without really thinking about it, you pull up your weapon and you fire. Your strike hits dead center in this thing, and there is this brief as this destroys the trap.
Nice. Good.
You see elements of batteries and wire rain down. Some kind of an electric weapon.
All right. Echo just kind of curtly nods to the group, kind of like a,
What?
shall we move on?
Problem
Fantastic.
solved, guys.
Speaking of which, Gibbs, it is your turn.
Gibbs does not need to see enemies to know that they are there, and Gibbs can cast spells despite not being able to see them, which I'm very surprised that this spell doesn't have that limitation. But will left ear clean, ew, right ear, new earwax.
Yeah.
Cast the spell again, making an EAC attack against whichever.
Yeah, because you know where they are, as you turn, you can see like this cavernous pillar that rises up to the ceiling. You kind of bank the shot off that.
Yeah, okay, with a 16
With a 16,
to hit whatever the first person is.
that's close.
Is it?
16 just barely hits. Yes. Wow.
Nice.
All right.
Everybody's sitting around like 16 to 14 for different, AC, so you guys are getting real close here. Those -2s and -4s matter a lot.
Yeah.
10 plus 11 damage to the first person.
Okay.
21?
No, 11 damage total.
Oh, okay.
Total.
So this Vesk that you can see, like, trying to crawl back in through the turret, you knock them out with your gravity gun. As they come out, all of a sudden, this, like, little tiny globule flies through the air, and you can see pierces the armor and the chest and exits through the back. You can roll on the next one if you would like. They're still alive, but barely.
9.
9 is a miss. Off and into the darkness.
Left ear clean, right ear clean. Gibbs very impressed with Echo, but tethered to Bubs, so no movement available really to her.
Yeah.
But goes, giddy up.
Bubs, you just hear Gibbs, after she pulls something out of her ear and whips it out the door, yell, "Giddy up!" And that's what you hear.
All right.
Nice job, friends and foes.
That brings us to Rose's turn. Rose is going to hurry across and catch up to the lot of you.
So I guess it's just.
You wanna move
guess
Rose
I'm just
to the
gonna
group?
Shade.
deal with both.
It is your turn. You glance over the side. Nobody is there.
Guys, good thing we put this cavern together because we've used all of like 30 square feet of it.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, good thing, guys. Killing it.
The one who is not looking good is in front of me.
Directly in front of you, maybe like 5-10 feet away.
The other one is to my left.
To your left, maybe like another 10 feet. They were right next to each other. You spaced them.
Do I have an angle by which I could fire the other one off the edge? The one who hasn't been injured, like, at all?
They've been mildly injured, but
Right.
yeah, you. So
The
what
one
you
who
have to do?
I didn't shoot out of the cockpit.
Step 5 feet diagonally. You can step right so that they are directly on the edge. They're maybe like 3 feet off. Yeah, you can try to fire
Cool.
off.
I'm gonna do that to
Okay.
that one.
Make your attack roll.
That's only an 11.
An 11 against.
I believe it's against. What's the gravity gun? KAC?
Flat-footed is -2, and then they have -4 on top of that.
Because they're right
You said 11.
Oh wait,
You're
it's how'd they get on?
you're succeeding by 2 if it's 11.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, it's 11. It might be more.
Okay, then yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
You take one step to the side, you pull the pistol right up to this Vesk's chest. They pull the curved carbon blade, and as they begin to swing down, you depress the trigger. You see they fall 5 feet, 10 feet, and then begin to fall backwards. They lose grip of their sword as they fall down and down.
Nice.
They fall off the cliff.
Yes.
Wow.
They take 11 points of damage falling. They were not terribly hurt before. You hear this shout "Oof!" as they hit the ground. They begin to crawl back to their feet, but it's tough for them. They are looking badly hurt, probably about as badly hurt as the other person. That is your turn?
Then, as my move action,
Sure.
can I target the other one with my combat tracking?
Are you able to split your attack like that?
That's my move action. That was my attack and then my move action. Right?
So you're using move. You're using.
Move is to activate my
I
combat
see what you're
tracking.
saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, you absolutely can.
then I do so against that
Make your
guy.
attack roll.
Oh, well, I don't make an attack. I'm just targeting him with
Gotcha.
my...
So you're
Yeah,
switching
that's
over
what I
the
was
target.
Yeah.
No
I
problem.
was wondering.
Well,
Hunter's marking
activating
it.
the target. Yeah. Hunter's marking. Yeah.
That is your turn, Shade. That brings us to Spice, top of the round. What do you
Oh,
want to
wow.
do? You are inside. You can see your friends now surging around you.
So I'm inside the ship, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Spice is like starting to breathe heavily. She remembers the ship from her time on Akaton. She's like breathing it in and starts to like hallucinate the scent of the Akaton sand. And she's like, he's the one. He did it. And so she's going to dash through the hallways trying to find Harlax.
Sure. So what I will say is when you get in, you're in the main corridor, you look left, you can see red lights going off and off and off into the distance. You see little doorways off to the side, maybe 30 of them as they traverse down. You look off to the right, you can see there is a place where you would normally be able to climb up a ladder. You don't really know to where. There is also a staircase, although the ship has been crumbled in, so that is not accessible up or down. So there's a ladder up. You could run to the left, down the corridor into the darkness. You could run backwards towards, you would imagine, where the engines are. Again, kind of into the darkness. There's no running lights behind you.
So if there's no hints to where Harlax is, free action, she's gonna kneel down and like reach out her mind. Is he within 60 feet? Because she can like feel his presence if he has, thoughts.
You reach out for 60 feet, and within this massive ship, not within 60 feet.
Ooh.
Okay, so she realizes that. And so what are my options of movement again? She's just gonna pick one.
Up a ladder or
Okay.
straight down the corridor following these red running lights, roughly in the direction of the bridge, although probably a good ways off.
Going towards the bridge.
Nice,
There you go.
nice.
Sending it 4 times her movement speed
So 120
towards
feet.
the bridge.
Okay.
I have a feeling which is going to happen here.
You run, your boots hitting the ground, the full
Click, click,
80
click,
feet
click.
down the corridor.
Ticka, because you're a girl. Just kidding.
You come to the very end of this area. There's a sturdy, somewhat warped door. You can see over top, because you read Vest, correct?
Yep.
You read crew quarters stenciled out over top this door. The door itself closed. However, you see like a button, probably not locked.
Okay. Beep.
As you run, you slam on it, not breaking your stride. You continue another 20 feet further in past this doorway. You kind of come to a stop, glancing around. You can see the hallway becomes a T off to the left and right. All these doorways that you would imagine each individual rooms for different Vesk soldiers. But these halls are dark. The hallway in front of you still, along the sides of the floor and along the middle of the ceiling, these red running lights provide a dim light. You continue another 20 feet in, and you can see 40 feet ahead of you another door, and this one reads Technology Operations. This door, you see there is light beyond. It seems like the floor is kind of tilting more and more as you move forward, and so what was the ceiling now almost beginning to become the wall beginning to become the ceiling. But as you reach this door, you see the light beyond, you see like a silhouette in the window. Vesk, certainly, taller than the other ones. And for a moment in this state, you feel like that's Harlax. But then they step out of sight. The door, another 40 feet ahead of you. But that is your turn. That brings us to... So the only one who is up here with you, Shade, kind of glances over the side, seeing their friend fallen. They're going to turn... God, they're not in good shape either.
Here, try it. Try it. I dare you.
Two, bitch, try
They're
it.
going to take 2 hits against you. They're going to try
Try
to.
it. I dare you.
So the first one is a 9.
That's gonna miss.
Second one is a 10.
That's also gonna miss.
Damn it, Dan. All right, so he swings again and again on top, but as you move to the left, to the right, he gets close to the edge, and having seen you just fire somebody off, he steps back. You are now separated by 5 feet.
Do I get an attack of opportunity?
No, it's more flavored.
Okay.
That is going to be his turn. That brings us to you, Bubs. You see Spice look left, look right, and then dart to the left and off, following the running lights.
I'm going to say to Gibbs,
I have to catch up to my girl, Spice, my Spice.
And I'm gonna run full action to catch up with her.
Sure, you follow your Spice through the crew quarters, almost to the technology sector. You get within 40 feet. You catch up to Spice.
Yep.
The two of you running.
3 of us.
Three, sorry, yeah.
I'm
Three
there.
of you. Well, 2 of you are running. One of you is like trailing by like a foot on the
I'm
road.
actually jetpacking, but yeah.
Getting
Okay, yeah.
dragged along like, ah!
Yeah, at the end of the rope, just like flailing.
Absolutely.
Guys,
but
it's fine.
3 of you are
Like,
there. That is your
paraglider.
turn, Bubs?
Yep, that's it.
That brings us to Echo. Echo, all of your friends abandon you, running off and into
Yeah,
this
how does it feel
ship.
now?
For the second
How does it
time, am
feel?
I wrong?
No. Oh,
Echo's used to it.
fair enough.
Doesn't take long to get used to it.
2 sessions with these bitches,
I'm so
they're gonna
sorry.
abandon you 4 times.
Echo sees everyone kind of like take off down the hallway, and just follows after them, I guess.
Sure. Full sprint.
catch up with you
run,
guys.
leaving Shade in the darkness of the cavern behind. You hear this like, as somebody falls and begins to climb back up, but you run. You run past the crew quarters. You run close to the technology operations, catching up with the other 3. However, that brings us to Gibbs. Gibbs, as you like grab onto Bubs, stopping your kite-like motion, what do you want to do?
I make sure my tail's not burnt from the jetpacking of Bubs.
Yeah. Totally unsinged.
Cool, because it's got no fur, because it's a rat's tail.
Yep.
And sorry, so Spice is just stumbling into an open hallway, or there's...
Running through a hallway, doors off on either side. You run through like a T intersection,
Yeah.
doors to the right and left. One of the doors, like a partially open. Ruined are those 2 areas, like
Yeah.
in the dark, but you can still see like tiny rooms in each of these. She goes past the T intersection, and 40 feet in front of her, when you catch up, you can see there is a large door marked Technology Operations. You see a silhouette that just kind of walks off to the side.
Cool. Realizing I probably can't see as well as I ought to be able to, I Hockaloogie at Spice, casting Wisp Ally, which gives her all the benefits of my Wisp Ally,
But
but
also-
also sheds light within a 20-foot radius in a green color because I get to choose. So she is now, yes, less stealthy, but also better able to see.
Absolutely. And Spice, you don't really feel the spit strike you, but you do notice all of a sudden the light grow brighter around you.
Brighter and greener.
Brighter and greener. You can see the doorway in front of you does have this little control panel. It reads open. This should be unlocked. But Gibbs, that is your turn.
Yeah, my movements occupied, my action's good. I'm
Sure.
content with my friends around me. I see Echo kind of running up behind us, and I give her a little like tail wiggle, indicating I see her and I know she's there. And I think about Rose for a second, but don't give a fuck.
Interestingly enough, that brings
Wait.
us to Rose's turn. Shade, all of your friends have abandoned you.
How does it feel?
Up on this gun deck, it is you and this other individual. He is hurt. He is frightened. He is like going back. He's on his back, his last foot. And all of a sudden, this vine creeps up next to your foot. You see the moss crawl up and become fingers.
Oh, is this the betrayal?
Rose climbs on top. You see this pistol aiming right at your face, and as it extends past, she fires at this vest.
Okay.
That is going. I
I'm
know.
waiting for it.
That is going to be a hit. And as this laser blast, that is a good hit. 1 second. You see this last guy as Rose reaches past your face and depresses the trigger. The face of this Vesk split with the laser burst, and he is dead. Shade, you and Rose, the only 2 left on this long gun deck. You can see Rose turns to you, and she just says, "No communication." She stows her weapon, and because you are all out of combat, I'm going to take you out of initiative order. Well done. You guys really didn't even get fired at by that laser. It does a lot of damage.
So it's the one.
Yeah, but it's a ship, so like, ships are clunky. We got ships, right? We don't give shit about
That can
ships.
deal 80 damage in a shot. Just
No.
for perspective, you guys
Dead.
got
I got really
lucky.
lucky
Dead.
there.
Yeah, right.
That would have pretty much fried me.
Yes. And actually, that's not on a critical hit. Theoretically, 160 damage.
That would have fried
Nice
me.
Dead.
job, you guys. We're
Instant
now.
death. There
Multiple
was no way.
fries.
No.
Spice could have
Double
made it out
deep
of that.
fried.
What?
You going through the door?
Hell yes, she's going through the door.
Okay.
Well, explain to us the situation
Sure.
before us.
So in this moment, as things slow down a little bit, one thing I'm going to say, Shade, since you are still up there, you can see, they're kind of surrounded by corpses. This laser turret you see suddenly powers back up. What do you want to do?
I guess check the body that's still up here with me, I guess.
Make an investigation.
For anything useful before trying to catch up to the rest of the group. But I don't want to spend too much time up here.
Yeah,
So.
quick perception check.
21?
21. With a 21, you reach down and looking across, you see there is this carbon steel curved blade, almost like a scimitar-shaped sword. There is also a light microfusion rifle. This is a long arm, and you saw it used against Echo on the approach. They're wearing armor. It's a Vesk Brigantine. Pretty rough is this one. You look over the edge. The other one, like magma cooling on it. Probably not in great shape.
A little worse off.
The armor probably not salvageable.
Yeah.
You do see, finally, what was the roll?
21.
That's what you'd see.
Okay. I'm going to grab the 2 weapons.
Sure. I didn't print them out, but it's a light microfusion rifle.
Light microfusion
And
rifle.
a carbon steel curved blade.
And a carbon steel blah 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 blah.
Curved blade.
It's something.
You stow those. Rose says, "Your friends ran ahead.
Yes, they do that sometimes.
Shall we?"
Yes.
You see she puts her hand down on this hull, and the flowers and the moss creeps downwards as she lowers herself, and it's almost like her body, very similar to Oakfeld in ways, kind of like grows and transfers the mass down.
I'm gonna, just jump off and
Yeah,
Touch the edge.
descent thruster them down.
no problem. You begin kind of following, but for the rest of you, you are all now in front of this door. You can see it reads, second I have to keep going back and forth, technology operations. You saw this silhouette vanish beyond. Spice, with you, the first person, kind of peering through the window. Beyond, you can see this similar in ways. Your ship is relatively small compared to this. Your ship would actually fit in the room that you see beyond. This has a number of computer consoles. You can see this is like the nerve center of this space. This is where the computers all connect to. This is where many of the systems are maintained. You see about 2 feet tall sets of stairs, like just 3 or 4 steps that go away from the center area, and all along the edges are servers, although the entire ship angled. And so you can see wires hanging from the ceiling, from the wall, and here and there, kind of sparking with live electricity. There are red running lights that go down the center of the room and then turn right. However, ahead, you can see the hall continues, and there is a trio of what look like large conference rooms, the glass that would separate them from the exterior shattered. In the one closest to you, maybe 60 feet beyond the door, you can see what would have been a holograph projector, a tactical holograph projector. You know Vesk ships. This is an old one, and you're reminded again as the combat dies down around you. This ship, they said, has been here for 40 years. This is not the ship that you thought it was. You still smell the scorched ozone of the Akaton sand, but that too subsides. As you look forward, this is an older model, but this is very much what is used to project an entire tactical battlefield up. And it's been partially disassembled. You can actually see floating, hovering right next to it, a large sled, hover sled, used to move large objects. This was in the process of being moved. Beyond that, the hallway continues into the darkness 60 feet away. You can't really see beyond that.
out of like sheer frustration, she like leans her forearms up against the door and like sinks her head into the door as she like loses the scent of Akaton. And then she's gonna open the door in front of her and see all of this shit. And then she's gonna close her eyes and then reach out her mind 60 feet to see if she feels anybody that's not her friends.
You reach out for 60 feet. 60 feet doesn't encompass this entire room. This room, probably about 120 feet long, but in that 60 feet, you sense nothing living. No roots penetrate the hull this deep. There is no Vesk in this area. And then you note, you don't sense the ones above you on the gun deck either. They must have been killed.
Okay, she opens the door and she walks into this crooked ass room.
Yeah, you have to kind of like stand at an angle to stand straight. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, like limping in her heels a little bit, but she's going along the lines, the red lit up lights on the floor. And she's gonna go into the room, into the but checking for traps. Are there traps?
Make a perception check as you walk in.
Was that the sound of electricity, like
is,
fizzling?
yeah.
I love that.
17.
With a 17, you look around. First, you don't see any immediate signs of like traps. You see these dangling wires that are sparking very loudly. I'm gonna turn them down a little bit. Also, every now and then, off and to the right, you see some of these servers kind of blink with these internal lights, like mechanisms still work. And then you hear, and then very vague, like Vesk voices. Although from this distance, you can't quite make out what they say. They begin again. Maybe a loop of a tape.
She again, out of frustration, tears some of the wires from the ceiling and breathes heavily, and then she walks up to this weird Vesk tape and she's listening for what they're saying.
Okay. So you walk across the space, maybe 40 feet away. So you cross down a couple of steps, which are actually climbing straight. And then when you reach the bottom of the steps, you have to start walking up an incline on what would be the floor towards what is the ceiling-like wall, the tilt of this ship. You can see all the chairs, wheeled office chairs, basically, just a little larger to accommodate a Vesk foreman with a opening near the back for a tail to be pushed through. They have all slid down and are piled at the far wall that is kind of probably abutting the ground. The floor is relatively clear. You see all the desks. You pass a few broken and corroding computer terminals, and you reach this communication device. You lean in. You hear the whispers. But because it is 9:09, this is where we're going to stop for the
No! You can't! It's only 9:09!
Thanks for joining us for this session of Mosaic Team 5. Happy birthday, Ari.
Happy birthday!
Guys, thank you so much. Nothing but gratitude and thankfulness for you guys making this such a lovely birthday and spending the time next to me and across the table from me. You guys are so fantastic to both play with and be friends with. I love you all so much. I'm not gonna cry.
But I hope you had a good birthday.
I did.
It was the best birthday!
We are going to be back next week. Following that week, there will be a week off as I will be on vacation.
How dare you?
I know, I'm sorry. I have to take time for myself sometimes. But it's going to give me time to prep for what is looking like probably... we'll see whether or not you guys reach Harlax next week. But if you do, that is going to set you up for the next part of your adventure. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. You guys all survived a ship weapon, which is very impressive. And then you completely avoided most of that fight. So well done. Thank you for hanging out with us. We'll be back next week. But until then, please stay safe. It is crazy out there. We'll see you next week.
Bye.